Welcome to the Rocket Money Kickoff, and welcome to New York City. It's a Friday night, and we're ready for Ivy football under the lights. We're in the northern end of Manhattan. Columbia University's home for football. Robert K. Kraft Field at Wine Stadium. It's Harvard and Columbia on a Friday night. The Crimson undefeated and in first place in the Ivy League. These two teams were two of the three teams that celebrated as Ivy League champions last year. Harvard pursuing another Ivy League crown. If they win it, it'll be their 20th title. Columbia looking for their first Ivy win of the season here tonight. And it is great to have you with us alongside Jack Ford. I am Eric Freed, and Harvard is the talk of the Ivy League, and really FCS football taking note of Harvard because, as we all know, for the first time, the Ivy League champion can play in the NCAA tournament, and Harvard is as good as it gets right now.
They are, and that's such a big deal in the league because it's the first time since FBS and FCS split apart back in 1978 that the Ivy champion has a chance to play for the national title. And this Harvard team, so far their season has been historic. They are 7-0. They're one of only 5 teams in FCS that is undefeated. They're putting up 30-plus points in every one of these 7 games. Last time they did that, 1890. As you mentioned, it right now, number 9 in the list for the FCS tournament. Now, we'll have to see how that all plays out. But this Harvard team has a real chance to go as far as their quarterback, number 1, Jaden Craig, can take them.
They have a great quarterback, and his name is Jaden Craig.
Yeah, and you look at him, he is their undisputed leader. You know, he split time for about a season and a half. In the middle of last season, he took over as the number 1 guy, and he's proved it. He delivered 4 touchdown passes last week in a critical game against Dartmouth. He's big, he's strong, he's smart. He has a cannon for an arm, and he doesn't run that often this season, but when he does, he can really hurt you. He's a legitimate NFL prospect. We've been told by the coaches that every NFL team has been to visit and to look him over at least once this season.
And he's a record breaker as you take a look at tonight's Rocket Money players. Spotlight 4 touchdown passes last game vaulted him to number 1 on the all-time list for touchdowns thrown, passing Neil Rose.
And if you look at that list, there are a lot of Ivy League Players of the Year in that list, and I'm sure you're going to recognize Ryan Fitzpatrick as a former leader in touchdown passes, a former Ivy League Player of the Year. So he has launched himself above an array of luminaries here at Harvard football.
All right, let's talk about Columbia. You have to go back to 1962 to find the last time that Columbia was defending an Ivy League title. Their defense this year has been a struggle.
You know, people always say it's harder to defend a title maybe than it is to win one. But coming into this season, they had preseason rating of number 4. They had a lot of talent coming back, but they have been quite literally crippled by injuries throughout the course of the season. They've had 6 quarterback take snaps, but they are delighted that this guy, number 15, Chase Goodwin, their number 1 guy, is back. He had a breakout season last year before he was hurt and missed the back end of it. Playing well this season, but he's only played 4 games because of a variety of injuries. But the coaches tell us he's back. He's 100%. He is ready to go. Again, he's a big guy with a strong arm, a real leader, and he can run too, and we may well see a lot of him running in this game tonight against a really talented Harvard defense.
That Harvard defense is outstanding. We'll see if Columbia is able to get anything going against the Crimson D here tonight. Harvard undefeated, trying to keep it going. Kickoff is next from Columbia. This has been the Rocket Money Kickoff. Welcome back to ESPN College Football Primetime, presented by Ram Trucks. Just moments away from the 83rd meeting all-time between Harvard and Columbia. Harvard has won the last two in the series. The Crimson 7-0 on the season, 4-0 in the Ivy League, pursuing an undefeated season. It has happened before at Harvard, Jack.
It has happened before, and they love to remind you of that. It's happened before. We saw the earliest one. We saw 1913, back-to-back undefeated seasons. Back in 2001, and some of those great quarterbacks we saw in that list a few moments ago were part of that team, including this guy, Ryan Fitzpatrick, led them to an undefeated season. He was the Ivy Player of the Year without the beard. It's tough to recognize him. 2014, beating Yale 31-24 in the game to seal that title for them. They have had just so many really strong teams, especially in the last 20 years.
And this year, because they are undefeated, they have moved up the latest FCS committee rankings. They weren't ranked last time around. The second ranking came out this week, and Harvard there at number 9. The top 8 get byes in the first round of the SCF's playoffs. So this is important for Harvard to keep their foot on the gas in these final 3 weeks of the Ivy League season.
Where you end up is a big deal. Look, I have an Ivy League bias, but I still couldn't understand why Harvard had not been higher in these rankings. We mentioned in our open, one of only 5 undefeated teams. We talked about the fact that they are number 1 in defense, in scoring defense. They are number 6 in scoring offense, what coaches often refer to as complementary football. Coach Andy Orrick, in his second year as the head coach, he was one of just a handful of head coaches, including John Poppe of Columbia last year, who won a title in his very first year as the head coach at that institution. He's looking to be one of the guys who's won it in his first 2 years at this institution.
That is the interesting part about the matchup here today. Both these coaches in their second year as head coaches at their current program. John Poppe has the added twist to it that he was a Harvard assistant coach for 2 stints, 2011 to 2014 and 2018 to 2022, and his familiar gray hoodie, the timeless look, the gray hoodie, and John Poppe sporting it here tonight.
John Poppe, you've described him. He's just a bundle of energy on the sideline. You know, he was a good football player at Williams when he was playing. I've said I get the sense that he's still ready to put a helmet on, and he's got a couple plays left in him. But he brought energy to this Columbia program that resulted last year in them sharing the title. He's been very honest about, look, we've made mistakes. We've had injuries, but we've made so many mistakes that have hurt us throughout the course of the season. He said, especially against a Harvard team this talented, they need to play as close to a mistake-free game as you possibly can.
Well, interesting selection on the coin toss. Columbia won the toss, and they elected to receive. Most times you see teams defer, so Columbia wants a chance on offense against the #1 defense in FCS football, giving up just over 11 points a game. Kieran Core with the opening kick. The wind is at his back, and it is breezy here tonight. It's a beautiful November night. Temperatures in the mid-50s. There is in the rain forecast, but after the game ends is what they're saying. So it looks like we're going to have a nice night, but a little bit of a breeze here at Columbia. And the offense will come onto the field. As Jack mentioned before, Chase Goodwin missed time with an injury, but he is back tonight for his second straight game. He made his return against Yale last week, was 15-30 passing, 208 yards, and a touchdown.
And they played a strong game against Yale last week, but he's a guy that the team believes in, the coaches believe in. They feel that if anybody's going to turn this around, it will be the return of Chase Goodwin as quarterback.
Little play action on the first play and some pressure from Harvard. Goodwin steps into it, looks big, and turning around is Titus Evans, and Evans almost pulled it in. A flag is down on the play. Evans has had a fantastic season for this Columbia team. John Poppe saying he has been our most consistent player in the lineup, but we have an early flag. Todd Bowman is our referee tonight.
Pass interference. Offense, number 86. 15-yard penalty. Replay first down.
So Braden Doherty, tight end, is number 86. That penalty goes against Columbia. That was an issue last week, Jack, against Yale. Columbia had 10 penalties for 100 yards. Really slowed any momentum they tried to build.
It goes back to Coach Poppe saying they're just hurting themselves. Little stagger and up. We talked about Evans. Evans has made acrobatic catches all season long. That was a tough one. He had to stop and come back. It was a little farther back shoulder than they would like, but in any event, it would have been wiped out by the offensive pass.
Yeah, it was called on 86.
Yeah. I'm not sure if they were looking at him thinking that, but that, I didn't see anything really obvious.
If it was on him, there's not a lot there, right? Yeah. Evans, 33 catches, 472 yards, good for 5th in the Ivy. First down at 22, quick pass to the outside. There is Doherty, tight end, with his 13th reception of the season. Ty Bartram, the captain for Harvard, there on the stop.
Columbia wants to start utilizing its tight ends more. They haven't really used them as weapons throughout the course of the season in important moments, but they have talent at that position. We just saw it right here. So don't be surprised to see them utilize those tight ends more. Their offense needs to develop consistency. That's what they're looking for, and they're hoping they can set the stage for it in this first drive.
After the gain of 9, they look man coverage on the outside, and a great catch hauled in and a first down for Columbia. And there is Titus Evans with his 34th reception of the season.
When you look at what he has done, in his first 2 years, he had a total of 22 receptions.
They're walking back, Jack. I think an official came in and said incomplete pass.
Let's take a better look. Well, I think what they're saying is he didn't control the ball through the catch. You know, remember what you have to do. We can see when he lands. It looks like it's tucked in one hand. They get a bobble then as he hits the ground. He's now out of bounds, and the call was he did not control the ball through the catch, but it was a great effort by Titus Evans.
Third down at 13. Goodwin on the run, throws, and this is going to be a first down for Columbia. Out across the 40-yard line, Doherty, the tight end, as Jack mentioned, Columbia wanting more involvement from the tight ends, and so far, that's what's happened here for the Lions.
All right, now you might say first down, okay, that's fine, but here's why it's so important for Columbia. And we can take a look there. You can see the ability to move the pocket, to extend a play by Chase Goodwin, finds his tight end over the middle, and does it. Here's why it's so important. They hurt themselves in the first couple of plays, as they've been doing all season long, but then they came back and generated a first down.
First running play and a big hole and a good gain. Michael Walters, the freshman from Brookfield, Connecticut, leading rusher for this team. He has his 70th carry on the season. That's a pickup of 9, a second and short coming up.
Michael Walters has been a bit of a revelation for them. They didn't think they would need him this early as a freshman, first year. They wanted to break them in, give him some time, but there were other injuries to the position, and they gave him the ball, and he just showed so well, they said, we need to play him more.
That was interesting, and I think out of that interesting play came a first down as Goodwin got just enough for it.
I'm pretty sure that was not the way it was drawn up.
That's why you're the analyst, Jack, so tell me what you think.
I'm pretty sure not drawn up that way, although maybe they're saying, let's make it look like we're fumbling the snap. We'll throw the rhythm of the defense off, and we'll get a first down. 2 first downs in a row is huge for this Columbia offense.
Pass is incomplete, intended for Cole Freeman, who was a quarterback last year, and he's taken a couple of snaps this year for Columbia. Now receiver, couldn't hold on to it. 2nd and 10 coming up. So already a couple of first downs picked up by Columbia against this Harvard defense that's giving up just 256 yards a game and just over 11 points a game. They don't give up many first downs. 105 now on the season. That works out to about 15 a game. That includes the 2 first downs here for Columbia. 2nd and 10. That's going to be an incomplete pass. Beckett Robinson, first year from Tahlequah, Oklahoma, who had a good breakout early in the season. Then had a concussion, didn't play the last 2 games, but he's out there today. 3rd and 10 coming up.
They say he gives them that top end speed that allows them to stretch the defense. Interesting on that ball, you say, well, how do you drop that ball? Wide receivers will tell you a ball low between their legs. That's the hardest catch to make. You're not connecting your eyes and your hands with the ball. And that's not a surprise when you see that happen periodically, that receivers ordinarily would catch the ball, have a hard time handling that low ball.
3rd and 10, pressure on. Goodwin gets away, breaks free. He's not going to slide down. He's got another Columbia first down. Needed the 38-yard line, got to the 36, 12-yard run. Jack, you and I were in Hanover a couple of weeks ago, and Columbia's opening drive against Dartmouth was outstanding. It ended with a turnover, and then Dartmouth ran away from there. This is similar here. This is a great start for Columbia against Harvard.
I think the best start they've had all season. And once again, it's number 15. We talked at the top of the show. The coaches said, don't be surprised if you see him running a lot more tonight than he has in the past. And we're seeing now how that ability, not only his arm, but his running ability, has kept this drive alive.
First down, they look to pass again. Looking towards the end zone, and a little tug, and no flag. John Poppy kind of moving his way down the sideline to talk to one of the officials, wondering where a flag might have been. Ethan Head, the intended receiver.
Did look like a bit of a tug there. But I tell you what that does is it says to the Harvard defense, look, Columbia's not afraid to go deep. So don't try to start packing it in, looking to take away their tight end, looking away to take the running game. You can see John Poppy saying,
that's holding.
Where is the flag?
That's holding.
And looked like a bit of a tug from up here anyway.
Design run for Goodwin, the quarterback, down to the 30-yard line. You know, there is the concern with Chase Goodwin. He missed time this year with concussion, and he's asking for some help as he's down on the field.
So if you are a Columbia fan, this is your worst nightmare.
Yeah, he just looked to the sideline and waved.
Yeah, he's moving that non-throwing arm. This is the guy who is, if you're going to salvage the rest of this year, it's going to be on the shoulders of this guy, and one of the shoulders, the left one, looks like now it's been dinged up a little bit. You said as soon as he got to the ground, he was pointing to that shoulder. Let's hope for Columbia's sake that it's nothing significant. Anybody who's played what we call getting a stinger and what that does, but sometimes, more often that goes away.
So Xander Menapace takes over at quarterback. Got the start against Lehigh when Goodwin got hurt against Princeton earlier this year. And Columbia moves the chains again. Another first down with Menapace, junior from Hamburg, Pennsylvania, who didn't play the last 2 years, but he's thrown back onto the field here tonight.
And Coach Poppy had said to us a few weeks ago when we were doing the game, they have confidence in him, in Xander Menapace. They feel he knows the entire playbook. They don't have to pare it down if he's called into duty. He has the ability to run also, similar to what we saw so far with Chase Goodwin.
Handoff to Elliott Cooper, wide receiver, the first year who made his debut last week against Yale. John Poppy said we would see more of him as the season goes along, so he gets a handoff. We talked about it earlier, the quarterback carousel for Columbia, Jack. 6 different quarterbacks taking a snap this season when you include Cole Freeman's 2 snaps, and here is Menapace closing in on 60 snaps on the season.
I think you and I are the only 2 guys in the building that didn't get asked to take a snap this season, but it's just been hard for them. It's hard to get consistency when you're not sure who it is that's calling the signals for you.
Design run here for Menapace, and Menapace is going to be about a yard short of the first down. Needs to get maybe 2 yards short. Needs to get to the 15-yard line. Columbia offensively averaging 12 points a game and 290 yards on the ground, but they've marched on the field here on their opening possession against this vaunted Harvard defense.
You know, it was a rocky start to this drive for Columbia. You had a pass interference call, you had some drop balls, but they've been able to put together, I think you and I might agree, the best drive we've seen of them so far this season. They need to extend it here. They need to come away with some points.
And they need touchdowns when they get into the red zone. They've got another first down on 3rd down and 2, down to the 12. Sean Line on the stop. That was the 14th play of the drive for Columbia. What a start here for the Lions, but can they finish the job on this opening drive is the question.
We can see once again the quarterback run I think he intended to keep it all the way. There was no chance that he was going to hand that off. You mentioned the red zone problems. They've been in the red zone only 16 times, and they've only scored 8 touchdowns. So that is a critical part for them, especially against this Harvard defense.
Columbia has picked up 5 first downs on this opening drive, Jack.
You know, we are way too early to be predicting what's going to happen in this game, but I had somebody from Harvard a little bit earlier say, you know, we're worried this might be a trap game for us, right? We beat Dartmouth last week. That was a big game. Next week, they've got Penn, a big game. Then they have the game against Yale. Those are all significant games, and I'm sure Columbia is hoping that maybe Harvard is not taking them as seriously as they're showing they should.
Well, in his defense, Andy Ulrich, when we talked to him this week, was not taking Columbia lightly at all. 16th play of the drive, and it's incomplete. Helmet comes off. So Titus Evans is going to have to leave the field for a play, and he is their top receiver.
You saw Harvard generate some pressure there, which they really have not done in this first drive so far. They got into Menapace's face. They didn't give him any way to step up in the pocket, and you saw the delivery was a little high right there. Wasn't able to step into it. Probably just as well because you had 2 Harvard defenders, including 21 Ty Bartram, their All-American safety and their captain there.
So Evans to the sideline, 3rd down for Columbia. Can they pick up another first down or get into the end zone here? On 3rd down this season, 33%. They were almost 44% last year. Thrown towards the end zone, some contact there, but the pass is incomplete. Jack Donahoe, who's had a fantastic year for Harvard in coverage. The secondary is the strength of the Harvard team, with Bartram and Henderson anchoring the group. Donahoe there on the coverage, and the field goal unit will come on for Columbia.
You know what? If they can walk away with 3 points in this first drive against this vaunted Harvard defense, I would think that the Columbia sideline would be delighted to do that to start the game, and would pay off. They're making the decision to take the ball to start the game.
Hugo Mary on to attempt the field goal. 28-yarder is on the way into the breeze, and he missed it. Pushed it to the right, and Columbia comes up empty on an 18-play opening drive.
You know, I suspect that, you know, if you're a Columbia fan, you're saying, okay, that's pretty indicative of what our season has been so far. Great drive against this great defense to come up with nothing.
Harvard will take over when we come back. Columbia marches down the field, 18 plays, but we're scoreless here in the first quarter. The big news on that opening drive, Chase Goodwin, the starting quarterback, was injured on this play, came down on that left arm, was right away pointing at his non-throwing shoulder, and he was in the medical tent getting some work, and obviously we've got a big tape job going on that left shoulder.
You know, if you've ever had a shoulder go out on you, and I unfortunately have, it's that kind of motion when you're hitting the elbow and it's driving the shoulder in the wrong direction. Now, I don't know if it popped out or what, it could be a shoulder strain. He's got putting the jersey back on.
First play from scrimmage for the Harvard Crimson, an offense that is averaging 41.4 points a game. Cam Henry has the first yards as Jaden Craig goes to work. Craig competing over 64% of his passes, 264 yards a game, 16 touchdowns, 5 picks on the season. Last week against Dartmouth, 21 of 32 passing, a season high 322 yards. Rolls and throws to his favorite target, Brady Blackburn. Well, one of his favorite targets. That's one thing Harvard does on both sides of the ball. They spread the wealth. There's plenty of guys who contribute offensively and defensively for this Harvard team.
It's interesting. The difference from this team to last team is last year, Cooper Barkate, their All-American wide receiver, was the guy that Jaden Craig was looking to. Cooper Barkate graduated in 3 years. Finish the story in a moment.
First down. Play action, Craig throws outside. Once again, it's to Cam Henry. Henry's got outstanding speed. Was a sprinter on the track team, but Columbia keeps him bottled up. Gain of about 7 on the play.
Finish that thought. The coaches have told us with Cooper Barkate moving on, graduated in 3 years, got down to Duke where he's leading the team in receptions. We can see here, you talked about Henry and his speed. That's an extension of the run game. Get it out to him quickly in space on the edge, see what he can deliver.
Second down and 3. Craig to the ground. Exavea Bascon, junior from the Haunt, Mass. They will roll out Jordan Harris and Maddox Reed and DJ Gordon in the backfield. Third down play coming up.
Let me finally finish the thought.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Cooper Barkate,
Cooper
I'm sorry.
Barkate, as talented as he was athletically, he also graduated from Harvard in 3 years, now leading Duke in receptions. But the coaches said that Jaden Craig is now looking across the field, looking for other receivers. It's helped across the board for all of his statistics.
Third down and 2 for Craig. To give to Harris. Harris some hard yards. Hard to bring down to the 45-yard line for a first down. Let me finish your thought on Cooper Barkate. Not only leading Duke, Jack, but the former Harvard wide receiver is leading the ACC in receiving yardage with 774 yards on 45 catches, also has 5 touchdowns.
Yeah, he was a great player, he was a great kid, and again, this was the move for him. Graduate from Harvard, get down to Duke, he's in their business school, he's doing great, and Harvard has found some guys to take his place.
Craig looking for one of those guys and looking long, but now he'll tuck it away and run right at the umpire who tucks out of the way. And then he falls down at about the 38-yard line.
One of the things we just saw there that he doesn't do as much anymore, and that's tuck the ball and run. First year and a half, he's got a ref he's looking for a block from the ref, and the ref doesn't deliver it. He goes down very quickly, and the coaches have said he's much better at that now. He just hasn't had to run because he has weapons around him, and they want to protect him.
That was Brian Gross, our umpire, doing a little two-step to try to get away. That's Harris down to the 34. That's enough for another Harvard first down. You still got the moves out there.
He is. That's quick.
You have to have the moves when you're the umpire. That's for sure.
You're right in the middle of that field. You're ducking passes. You're ducking flying bodies. Showing some good mobility by the umpire.
See Columbia changing personnel up front. Powell, Patterson, and Townsend are the main guys on that front line for this Columbia defense. Bascon breaks a tackle. Bascon breaks free, still going inside the 10. First and goal for the Crimson. Jeremiah Douglas saved the touchdown.
Bascon has been delivering for a couple of seasons now at that running back position. Got a player down on the field. He's their lead back, but in a stable of backs where the coaches have said to us, there are 4 or 5 guys in that running back room who could start for most Ivy League teams. He is the leader, the upper class leader of this, but there are a lot of good players there. Player down, we'll be back.
ESPN College Football Primetime is presented by Ram, official sponsor of the College Football Playoff.
Jack gave a wave to Lady Liberty on his drive up from the Jersey Shore for our game here tonight, I'm sure, as he normally does.
What's so frightening is she waved back as that came out.
Not with a torch hand, I hope. That was a lot of weight there. Levi Robbins was the injured player for Columbia. He walked off the field. Harvard has it, first down and goal from the 5. 2 tight ends with Gilmartin and Reska. Craig flips it inside to Reska, who is brought down short of the end zone at the 1. That tight end position through the years has been such a valuable piece of what Harvard does offensively.
Harvard was great at figuring out we could take tight ends, we can move them into slots. You can see right here, moves them left to right, quick pitch up the middle, almost gets in. They have used their tight ends strategically for a couple of decades now, and they've developed some really good ones who have been playing in the NFL for a long time.
Good job by Charlie Newton to wrap up Reska for the tackle. Harvard looking to cap off their opening drive with a touchdown. The push is enough to put Harvard on the board. Touchdown, Crimson. Ten-play drive, and undefeated Harvard scores first here in New York City.
See the push that they get here up front. Harris just finds enough of a crease to get himself into the end zone. Good push by that Harvard front line, that Harvard offensive line.
Donaher and Newton were there for Columbia to make it tough on Bascon, but Exavea has his 4th touchdown of the season, and Harvard has a lead, which has been a familiar theme all season long because Harvard has trailed just one time all season, 14-10 to Princeton, and that deficit lasted for 3 minutes and 32 seconds. Kieran Core with the point after. And Harvard marches down the field and scores on their first possession after Columbia marched down the field but came up empty. Craig calling the signals. Bascon finishing the job. Strong running back, offensive line strong. Oh, whoa, there's a little role reversal there. That's how strong Exavea is. Lifting his center. Tomorrow's ABC College Football Tripleheader will start at noon Eastern with a top 10 Big 12 showdown. BYU and Texas Tech. Then undefeated and third-ranked Texas A&M will take on 22nd-ranked Mizzou. And we'll finish the day with LSU and Alabama. Games are also available on the all-new ESPN app.
See if LSU comes away with what they often refer to as the fired coach bump afterwards. You can see.
Has that worked for the 100 teams that have fired their coach this year?
I don't think so.
Bascon with the 1-yard touchdown run, and this will be a touchback. And Columbia will bring the offense back onto the field after they had an 18-play drive that ended with no points on their first drive. It included the starting quarterback leaving the game with an injury, but number 15 is ready to head back onto the field now at quarterback, Chase Goodwin.
Taped him up, taped that off shoulder, not the throwing shoulder. Take that up. If you look, we're watching him warming up. It looks like it's constricting him in any fashion. So hopefully they've got a tape that's okay, and he can continue in that leadership role for Columbia.
Griffin Johnson, the running back. Play action to Johnson, and Goodwin. Little early on the coverage for Austin Guillory, and he's going to get flagged for interference.
You know, earlier in the first drive, the officials are still talking it over. So let's see if that flag stays on the ground. Earlier in the first drive, you remember John Poppy, Coach John Poppy, just being.
There's no foul for defensive pass interference. Earlier in the field is an incomplete pass.
John Poppy has had some issues with the officials here in the first quarter.
If we take a look at it, we can see if this is a legitimate concern. He's saying that they didn't call the first time in the first drive. You can see here, Goodwin looking good, stepping into the throw.
Where's that right arm for Guillory is the question, right?
Yeah, and again, remember, the right arm can be in contact. They kind of changed that rule. The right arm can be in contact as long as you're not turning the receiver and affecting his ability to make the catch.
Goodwin to throw again. Tight end is dropped. Doherty on the reception. Sean Line, who has just emerged as a force for Harvard in the linebacking core, the junior from Stockholm, New Jersey, who played in 2 games last year, had 1 tackle last year, was battling a hamstring injury. He's their leading tackler this year.
And they've said they recognize he has great athleticism. Coaches talk, he can run sideline to sideline as well as anybody in this game, in this league. And he's now emerged, as you said, as their star at that linebacker position.
Line already with 5 tackles tonight, and we still have over a minute to go in the first quarter. Flag is down on the play, and this will push Columbia back 5.
Last 2 games, talking about Sean Line, he's had 10 tackles and 12 tackles, so you've seen that emergence.
Penalty. Third down.
Well, there's been a couple of penalties called on Columbia and a couple of penalties that weren't called on Harvard that Columbia thinks should have been called on Harvard here in this first quarter.
It was hard to tell in that second play whether or not that right arm was around. It looked like in contact, but again, the rule is you have to impact the receiver, not just have the arm on him. Tough to see, but the penalties are just killing Columbia's momentum.
Third down 11. Goodwin tried to find the running back out of the backfield, Lucas Bullock, but he couldn't hold on to it. And punt team will come on for Columbia, punting into the breeze here with 63 seconds to go in the first quarter.
Columbia needs to keep possession, move the chains, move the clock especially, and limit the offensive possessions for Harvard. In that first drive, they did exactly that, although they allowed Harvard to then drive the length of the field themselves and put 7 points on the board. Columbia put nothing on. They needed to get some first downs out of this drive rather than just hand the ball back to a Harvard team that has some offensive momentum now.
John Poppy was concerned about Harvard putting pressure on Columbia's punter, Tommy Sleeman. And a flag is thrown before Sleeman gets the kick away.
There is no foul for defensive offside. Delay a game. Offense, 5-yard penalty, still 4th down.
Now, in the big picture, does 5 yards make a difference for the punting team? Well, in some ways it does. You're giving this Harvard dynamic offense the ball closer. But it's just been indicative of how they have hurt themselves throughout the course of this season. And we've seen it taking place yet again so far in this game.
Remember, Sleeman, who's had a very good year for Columbia, facing some pressure, but punting into the breeze. And that one's going to back up. It bounces off a Harvard returner, and then Columbia's going to take over in Harvard territory. Never got to Jordan Harris, and on the short punt, it bounced around, hit a Harvard player, and a break for Columbia, something they desperately needed.
When we talked to John Poppy earlier in the week, he talked about, you can take a look at this now, bounces, Again, you've got to call. It bounces off of 26. You know, if you're the receiver back there, you've got your call. Sometimes it's poison, whatever it might be, and it means get away.
Result
Don't
of the
go
play is
anywhere
receiving team
near
touched
where
the
this
ball.
ball is going to be. Now, in fairness, it takes a back hop, but still, you got to say to 26, you got to pay attention. You got to see where that ball is right now. John Poppy said to us before, you know, we have to shorten the game for the Harvard's offense. We have to get some possessions, some first downs. And the last thing he said to us is, and you know what? We need some turnovers. And right there, this could be the spark for this Columbia team, that they have a turnover. They now have really good field position. Their #1 guy, Chase Goodwin, is back on the field. Let's see what the offense of Columbia can do with this.
So you saw on the replay, the ball was first touched by Columbia at the 43-yard line. That's where it will be spotted at the Harvard 43 after the contact by Akil Lamoti for Harvard.
Timeout.
Timeout called
That's their first
by
timeout of the half.
Columbia in the final minute of the first quarter. Well, we saw a delay of game penalty a moment ago. We saw a false start a moment ago, and John Poppy burning a timeout here to make sure they don't start 1st and 15, perhaps, in Harvard territory.
They went out there, and it did not look like it was Chase Goodwin. Didn't look like it was 15. Looked like we had 18. Xander Menapace back on the field. Now, I don't know if that's because there's some packages they put in for him. We can see Goodwin got his helmet off, which is never a good sign for a player if he's going back in.
Unless his helmet's being repaired, that could be part of.
I can see, and remember, he's had a couple of concussions.
Yeah, I think there's repair work going on down there.
That may well be, because it looks like they are bent over and just trying to work quickly.
Yes, sir.
They are. Eagle eyes.
And Chase Goodwin is pacing like an expectant father, waiting for his helmet to be fixed. He's just like, fellas, hand me the helmet. I want to get on the field. We got 2 guys on it right now. So Menapace at quarterback, 1st down and 10 from the 43-yard line. Part of the reason, too, of course, that Columbia had to call the timeout just to make sure they had their quarterback on the field. Oh, hard hits. It's going to be enough for a 1st down. Michael Walters, who has shown as a first-year how tough he is and gets extra yards after that initial contact, takes it down to the 28-yard line.
Great presence by Menapace. Got some pressure, moved the pocket a little bit, kept the play alive, found his back out of the backfield. Excellent play by Menapace.
Now, will Columbia run a play here? They don't have to. Goodwin has his helmet, and he's ready to go into the game. And I think perhaps Columbia will just let the clock expire here and take it down to the 2nd quarter and get Goodwin back onto the field.
Watching him with his helmet, maybe if you're a little bit older, you might remember Thurman Thomas of the Bills in one of the Super Bowls. Could not find his helmet to start the game.
Chase found someone to fix his helmet. So Xander Menapace has had to be at the ready here today. The 2 quarterbacks exchanging taps as we head to the 2nd quarter. Columbia had a great opening drive, but missed the mark on the field goal attempt. Harvard on their first drive marched down the field, and the RX team on top 7-0 as we head to the 2nd. Great way to spend a Friday night for the young ones as well. Bundled up, but you don't need too many layers because pretty comfortable for early November. 55 degrees at kickoff.
It is for tonight, although they're telling us next week on the East Coast you will be bundled.
We've got tonight. Who needs tomorrow? Chase Goodwin needs a helmet, and he's got one. They were working on it during that timeout as well. It seems to be in good working order. So the Columbia #1 quarterback back on the field.
Look at you throwing Bob Seger around here.
Ooh, you'd catch that. It's not what he was singing about, but that's a different story for a different time. Goodwin looking big, almost picked off. Ty Bartram, the Harvard captain, almost had his 6th career interception.
Goodwin has not been afraid to throw the ball down the field so far. That's the 2nd time Ty Bartram has been in the way of his passes. You can see down the middle, just overshoots his tight end, and Ty Bartram almost is able to make a circus catch on the back end of that. Just a ball that Goodwin missed just by a little bit.
It's been a Harvard defense that has 10 interceptions this season, 14 takeaways. They had 9 all of last year. Up the middle with Walters, a couple of hard yards.
When you go back to the play before that, with the defense that Harvard's been showing them, you've got to find what the weakness is. And they had 2 free safeties back, and the weakness there can be right up the seam, and usually it's your tight end, because he's the one that's closest to the seam. They got what they wanted. Unfortunately, Chase Goodwin just overthrew it a bit.
3rd down. They need to get inside the 19 to about the 18 for a 1st down. Goodwin tripped up, throws it, and somehow completes the pass. Beckett Robinson's got it, and he's got a Columbia 1st down. Great improvisation by the Columbia quarterback. Robinson pushing for extra yards and a flag down on the play as well.
While they're sorting it out, that's what Chase Goodwin gives you. He's big, but he's athletic. He can move around, move the pocket, but they look like they're moving in the wrong direction if you're a Columbia fan right now. As you said, that was a pretty acrobatic play by him. It looked like the pressure had gotten to him.
Oh, you got to take it off the books, though.
He manages a really off-platform throw.
Illegal shift. Offense, number 13. Didn't get set. 5-yard penalty. Replay 3rd down.
That was Robinson who caught the pass. So another penalty against Columbia. And Andy Ulrich's team is the least penalized team in FCS football. That's the contrast here tonight.
Again, it's a team that just, it's showing the potential that people thought it had, but it just kind of can't get out of its own way.
4 penalties, 27 yards for Columbia. That was a costly one, took away a 1st down. Goodwin throws underneath. Bullock down to about the 20. It's going to be a 4th down and 2. And I would think after the kicking issues at the end of the 1st drive, you leave the offense on the field here if you're Columbia.
And I think also, John Poppy needs to show the team that he has confidence in them, even though they've been hurting themselves with penalties, that he believes in them. And the best way to do that if you're a coach is when you got 4th and something, say, I trust you guys, go get the 1st down.
4th down and 2. Columbia middle of the pack in the Ivy on 4th down this season. Will it be Goodwin calling his own number? He's going to throw, he's got a man, and they have the 1st down. A 4th down conversion for Columbia. Titus Evans with the catch.
Titus Evans finding that opening, just settles in. You can take a look. First of all, plenty of time. Titus Evans just gets what he needs for the 1st down, settles in, squares up, shows his numbers, 1st down.
Columbia working, quickly intercepted. Sean Line with the interception, and Harvard has their 11th interception and 15th takeaway this season.
Sean Line was a shoestring tackle by 15. Chase Goodwin away from taking that to the house. Harvard has had
3 touchdowns
on defense so far. You can take a look He gets the hand up there. We talked about his athleticism. Looking for that quick throw, gets one hand out there. You know, Columbia had a lot of bodies out there.
Sean Line has his first career interception. It's the 11th for a Harvard player this season, and it was a great play by a great athlete.
He is a great athlete. Look at this. He might play his way into the wide receivers room. He goes around making one-handed catches here, and you can see Goodwin just got him down, kind of throwing his whole body at him to bring him down. Otherwise, he had a lot of room to run.
They had 9 total last year, 15 already this year, with 2 weeks to go in the regular season after tonight. Craig gets away from trouble. Flag is thrown. This should be the first penalty against Harvard tonight. Looks like it's going to be holding on the Crimson.
And when you think of it, all right, you're partway into, you got 12.5 minutes left in the second period. While they talk, you could look at it from this perspective for Columbia. With all the mistakes they've made, they're still only down 1 touchdown. So there's something for them to talk about and something for John Poppy to say to the team.
10-yard penalty. Replay first down.
Left guard Thomas O'Brien with a hold.
You can see he gets beat to the inside and gets that hand pull on the jersey there. This, you mentioned it before, Harvard least penalized, right?
Yes, least penalized team in FCS football.
FCS football.
And that's not the first time somebody has held Justin Townsend trying to slow him down. Looking for the big play. On 1st and long, it's incomplete from Craig, intended for Jordan Harris. 2nd and 20 coming up for the Crimson. We've talked quite a bit about Jaden Craig, Jack. When you look at Craig, who does he remind you of? What stands out about his characteristics, because you've watched quite a few Ivy League quarterbacks in your day. You played against some pretty good ones.
I played against some really
well.
good ones. He reminds me a lot of Neil Rose, who you saw. He eclipsed his touchdown record. Neil Rose had been an Ivy League Player of the Year. Big kid like this, strong arm, good delivery, had the wheels to run. All those quarterbacks actually you saw on the list, all were mobile. They had the ability to run. So you can look at him and compare him to probably every one of those guys that we saw before.
Harvard on the ground. Big hole opens up, and busting out across the 25-yard line is Jordan Harris.
You know, I mistakenly talked about Jordan Harris having scored the touchdown before. It was Xavier Baskin. Jordan Harris not getting up right away after that hit on the sideline while they're checking him out. But that illustrated, we saw all these backs contributing so far, and it illustrated what we talked about before, which is how many really high quality running backs they have. Here's an indication on the depth charts that we're given, the official depth chart. They usually list a starter and a backup, right? Harvard, you look at the running backs, they list 4 guys, all of whom we've seen so far.
Harris was first given attention by the athletic training staff for Columbia. The Harvard staff over there now. We'll take a break.
Introducing Verts. Swipe for news and highlights. Now available on the ESPN app.
Back in New York City, this was a moment ago. Jordan Harris comes out of the medical tent, and little thumbs up. That's a good sign, because it was a nasty spill that he took on the Columbia sideline. Kind of pogoed on top of his helmet as he came down, but good to see Jordan, junior from Ellicott City, Maryland.
Great job by the Columbia training staff to get to him so quickly. Grab that helmet so he wasn't moving just in case. Wonderful job by them, and good to see 20 come out of the tent with a thumbs up.
3rd down and 4. Craig steps into the throw and completes it. 1st down for the Crimson. Cam Henry has another catch Good, strong throw by Jaden Craig, showing some of that arm strength.
You see the arm strength, you see his mobility, but you also see the patience that he's developed here. Waiting for Henry to break open, gets into the second level. So Jordan Craig step in and deliver that throw. So you've seen his ability to read and progressions better.
Craig 5 of 6 passing, 3 of those passes caught by Cam Henry. On first down, gain of about 8. DJ Gordon getting the carry, sophomore from Indianapolis, has a lot of speed, listed as a quarterback on the roster, but Harvard's been using him as part of that running back depth.
He's their leading touchdown guy on the ground with 5, and he's been a revelation. He was sort of the third-team quarterback coming in. They said, let's give you a chance to carry the ball a little bit, and he's really delivered.
Gain of 9 actually on first down. Craig on 2nd and 1. Rolling, throwing, and incomplete. Henry went up, had a hand on it, but couldn't bring it down. Flag on the play, and it's going to go against Harvard.
It wasn't a completion.
Holding. Offense, number 55. 10-yard penalty. Replay second down.
Moving the back. It was not a completion.
Who was called for the hold, protesting. I think we heard him, yes.
Hey, it's a Harvard guy. He's got an argument to make. He's got a position. He'll give you a thesis paper on it. We can take a look at the hold. I was saying it was a great throw. You can see right there. You know, it's easy for the officials when they see the fabric getting tugged. So it's a hard one not to agree with. Ball a little bit high, but on the run, it was a great delivery by Jaden Craig.
Second and 11 with Gordon in the backfield with Craig. Play action, thrown to the outside. This has been the go-to target. Cam Henry came into the game with 17 receptions. Henry's a player who did not play the last 2 years, played 3 games as a first year, was focused on track and field, and then spent a year abroad, and now he's back playing football, and now he's hauling in passes from Jaden Craig.
Harvard is delighted that he's back. As we told you before, he's got that top-end speed. He can scare a defensive secondary. You know, that throw was not for a lot of yards, but it was a completely across-the-field throw and gave you an idea just how strong, number 1, Jaden Craig's arm strength is.
Henry had 5 catches for 58 yards last week in the victory against Dartmouth. Pressure from the backside provided by Powell. Craig tried to duck forward, but good pursuit by Columbia to shove him out of bounds, well short of the first down marker. And Harvard will punt.
So that's what Columbia needed, all right? We talked about before, with all the penalties and the mistakes they made, they're still only down 1 touchdown. But they needed to stop Harvard one time, get the ball back. Their offense is getting in sync right now, so that was a big stop by the Columbia defense.
We mentioned those 3 main players up front for Columbia: Josh Powell, Keller Patterson, Justin Townsend, keeping Craig bottled up. Dylan Fingers punting. Fair catch called for at the 12 by Jordan Kelly. And Columbia will bring the offense onto the field. We'll keep an eye out there to make sure Chase Goodwin, who's battled a shoulder problem and a helmet problem, hadn't had anything else pop up while he was on the sidelines while Harvard was on the field. Sunday, 10 a.m. Eastern on ESPN and the all-new ESPN app. Countdown Crew will bring you all the early breaking stories, injury updates, and game previews, and they'll take you right up to kickoff of the 1 o'clock games on Sunday. There is the junior from Houston ready to go. That opening drive ended with a missed field goal. Not much happening since then. Tons of time for Goodwin here. Throws into coverage, and it's intercepted by Jack Donahoe. Donahoe inside the 5, and Harvard has their 2nd interception of the game.
I'm sure now Chase Goodwin's going to come to the sideline. They're going to grab the iPads, and the coach is going to say, all right, what did you see there? Because from our vantage point, he's throwing into not just double coverage. There were 3 guys there. So the coach want to know, what did you see that made you? He had plenty of time. Let's watch this. You see Donahoe up at the top. comes up. Now he's dropping back, and then he becomes the third guy in coverage. But there was just no open there. And Goodwin had the time. He's been getting good time to deliver the ball. That's just a big mistake that you wouldn't have expected from number 15.
Donahoe with his second interception. You saw his fan club's pretty big, making the quick trip down from White Plains where he calls home. Craig lofts it up, end zone, touchdown. Seamus Gilmartin with his 4th touchdown reception, and Harvard turns the turnover into points pretty quickly.
And against this team, you cannot give them an advantage of a turnover. You know, see Seamus Gilmartin there, and once again, using the tight end in the red zone, especially the close-in red zone, Harvard has been great at it. What you get is, you see he's got a block, all right? He looks like he's blocking down right to left. That means who's ever guarding him is going to read that and start to fill.
Kieran Core puts through the point after, and Harvard has a 14-0 lead. 2 turnovers for Columbia. The second one, an interception by Donahoe, setting up the junior from Hillsborough, California, Seamus Gilmartin, to pull in the touchdown pass from Jaden Craig. And the undefeated Crimson looking good in New York.
The first throw, again, should never have been thrown. Donahoe gets it almost down to the end zone. Harvard, a great play call, scheme, execution, delaying the tight end till everybody's picked up somebody, and then you release them into the end zone. Harvard up 14-0.
On the left, Jack Donahoe ready to go back on the field for Harvard on defense. On the right, the Jack Donahoe fan club hearing from everybody in White Plains and beyond about the quality airtime that he made for himself with that interception.
You can tell they were so excited about the interception, and then they got excited because clearly they were on television. Their friends were telling them they were on television. But as we said before, a great play by Jack Donahoe.
Easy trip for them down from White Plains to come down here to 208th Street and Broadway. And this has been some off-Broadway stuff for Columbia here in the first half. A missed field goal after that great opening drive, and then 2 interceptions for this Harvard defense.
Coming into the game, Coach John Poppy said that Columbia needed to play nearly flawless football. And we've seen those illustrations. There were a lot of other problems before. You can see right now a ball that never should have been thrown. That's surprising that Chase Goodwin threw that ball. Jack Donahoe, acrobatic interception, nearly getting into the end zone. So you've seen Columbia now give up pass interceptions and so many penalties that have hurt them.
Harvard there to swarm. Mike Walters, it's a loss of 3. Christian Nuoso, the sophomore from Houston, who's had a great sophomore season. 4 possessions, a couple of interceptions, a missed field goal. They are 0 for 2 in the red zone, Columbia. Just to your point, Columbia, we've seen it all year. They do good things, but it just takes one bad thing to undo everything that's been done to that point. 2nd and 13. There comes pressure. Goodwin got rid of it in time, but a knee was down before the contact. So they're going to spot it at about the 27-yard line. Jordan Kelly, the receiver. 3rd down and 8 coming.
Bit of a low ball throw, and what you'll see receivers do is obviously just go down so they can corral it. What you're hoping for, again, for Columbia, you get a completion, but you get a knee touch. When you could have ended up with a 8-yard gain, you end up with a 1.5-yard gain.
Six on the play clock for Goodwin. Runs away from trouble. Does he have enough to get to the 1st down marker? He does not. Guess who? Sean Line there to bring him down, and Goodwin a little slow to get up.
Went down on that left arm again. You have to believe, we don't know what that injury was, but you have to believe he's feeling it. You can see not quite moving the left arm. And actually moving his right arm.
Yes.
Has a little bit of time. So far, you've got to compliment the Columbia offensive line. They've given Goodwin a decent amount of time when he's dropped back to pass. But you can see there, he turns it upfield and gets up a little bit slow.
7 tackles now for Sean Line to go with that interception. Sleeman's punt. Remember, last time Sleeman punted it, ran up the leg of a Harvard special teamer, and Columbia was able to take advantage, but could not put it into the end zone. So Harvard will bring the offense onto the field, up 14-0 here in the first half. This week, Monday Night Football will feature the Eagles and the Packers. Good one. Coverage starts at 8 Eastern on ABC, ESPN, ESPN Deportes, and the all-new ESPN app. Peyton and Eli will be working right here on ESPN2. Eagles beat the Pack a couple of times last year, including in the playoffs. So you'll see them meet on Monday. Craig throws it low and incomplete. Once again, trying to find Cam Henry.
It's that low ball we talked about before, but it was on the Columbia side before. Trying to get Henry outside. We mentioned it. That play is part of their arsenal of running plays. You know, you don't see teams running power sweeps much anymore, but you take your speed guy, get him out in the flat, get him the ball quickly, get a couple of blockers in front of him, and something can come out of that. Unfortunately, the throw was a little bit low, and Cam Henry was not able to hold on to it.
Second and 10 for Craig. Throwing deeps, got a man, puts it right into the bucket. Caden Kaufman brings it down to the 10. What a throw by Jaden Craig.
That ball was in the air, maybe 50 yards, might have been more. Let's watch again. Offensive line gives him plenty of time. He can step up into the ball and just drops it in stride to 15. Just giving you a sense again of that arm strength and the accuracy.
Harvard moving quickly. Kaufman again. Kaufman just 9 receptions for 94 yards coming into play here today. Craig targeted him for 58 yards on that completion before that short one.
Shows you how many weapons this Harvard offense has. They've delivered passes to some 15 receivers during the course of the season. And you can see now how Jaden Craig, number one, just sees the field and uses all those receivers.
DJ Gordon hit at the 5, falls forward to the 3. Jax Mahowski, team leader in tackles, coming in tonight with 59 on the season on the stop.
Jax Mahowski has been an iron man for this Columbia defense. He's got 3 interceptions. You're talking about the tackles that he makes. He's a guy who is relentless in his pursuit to the ball. If they could hold Harvard to a field goal here, that would be a huge win for Columbia.
3rd down and goal. Gordon not gonna get it, so Columbia gets the stop. Now, if you're Andy Ulrich, do you bring the field goal unit on, or do you look for another touchdown?
Be an interesting call. Let's see what he decides to do here. Looks like got some bodies coming on the field.
He's gonna go for it.
Looks like he's going for it. Some different personnel get out there for Harvard.
He's been very aggressive in his 2 years as Harvard's head coach, going for it on 4th down. 10 of 16 this season. They were 2 for 4 last week against Dartmouth. Craig's got it on 4th down. Craig's out of trouble. Throwing into the end zone, tipped and caught, touchdown! Sean Gilmartin grabbed it on the deflection. Harvard converts on 4th down. They're up 20-0.
Sometimes you hear teams talk about good luck, and sometimes you hear coaches say you manufacture your own good luck. You're in the right place at the right time. Jaden Craig avoided the rush, gave himself some extra time, delivered the ball, caught not by the guy he was aiming at, but by somebody else who was in the right place at the right time. See ball up in the air, and Seamus Gilmartin tiptoes along the line. Ball intended for Ryan Tattersall.
Tattersall was the intended receiver, who has just 8 catches this season, but Gilmartin, who leads the team in receptions. Jaden Craig's going to come over and say that's going to go into the book, says another touchdown pass for me, 45 in my career.
Right.
Let's not remind everybody how that one was completed.
Not quite the way we drew it up. Take a look at it up in the booth, as they do with touchdown plays. But clearly, you know, when you're good, you make your own luck sometimes. And that's what we saw there. The first most important thing is Jaden Craig was able to extend that play. You had somebody who had an early shot at him, which looked like they might have taken him down. Steps out of that tackle, gets out to the edge, where he can now survey and look for a variety of receivers there.
So this replay review is taking a while here, and I wonder if they're looking to see where Gilmartin was. Was he in or out of bounds?
Did he step out, or did he step out before and then come inbounds again? Which would make it'd be illegal touching for him. Because I think it was pretty clear that he tiptoed
After further review,
inbounds.
The previous play of a touchdown is upheld. Try.
You can see there, you can't see, it looks like that foot is inbounds. You certainly can't see enough of it.
So remember, there was a deflection there too, Jack, as he got it into Tattersall. So does that change things for the receiver? You just heard the referee. The bottom line is it's a touchdown.
It's a touchdown.
It's 20-0 with a point after.
And I suspect they were looking to see if he stepped out of bounds. Because again, even if it's touched by somebody else, you can't be the first guy to touch a ball if you well, again, as you're saying, it was touched by somebody else.
Right, but he came back.
But he still can't come back from out of bounds, inbounds, I'm pretty sure, to make the catch.
Well, they went to the it took a little while.
Right.
So they got it all cleared up, and Andy Ulrich's team scores again.
Yeah,
21-0. And you talk about, and you just touched on this, you know, when it's going right for you, things like that happen.
That's right.
And when it's going wrong for you, like it is for John Poppy's team,
it's like everything.
You can't find good luck anywhere.
And we saw this when Columbia played up at Dartmouth. It wasn't that they were always playing poorly. They would make mistakes, and the other team always capitalized on those mistakes.
Let's take a look at our AutoZone Drive recap. as Jaden Craig and Harvard on top 21-0. Went for it on 4th down and got the touchdown. Here's what happened on that drive. Big pass play by Craig, 59-yarder on target to Caden Kaufman.
See that pass down the middle. One-on-one coverage deep. He just ran past the defender. You saw the speed that he had and the ability of Jaden Craig to find him. Craig right there, a little shoulder shrug, throws the defender off, gets out of bounds, or outside, I should say. Ball deflected, touchdown, Harvard.
So Craig to Gilmartin twice tonight. Gilmartin now with 5 touchdown receptions, was good against Dartmouth last week. 4 catches, 70 yards, and 2 touchdowns. So back-to-back weeks with 2 touchdowns.
He's been delivering.
For Seamus Gilmartin.
You saw Seamus Gilmartin on the sideline, and he had a device around his neck. And people might be wondering, what is that? What's he wearing around his neck? It's not like a collar that you've seen defenders wear. It is a device that's been manufactured and devised the last few years. And the argument is that it helps to prevent concussions. Now, I don't want to get into the technical aspects of it, but you've seen more and more people. You saw a number of NFL players wear it. You've seen more and more college players wear it. You can see right there. It's not bulky, and it has to do with controlling blood flow. Again, I don't want to try to get into the specifics of it, but you're seeing more and more players wear it.
Just for the record, you are a lawyer, not a doctor, right? Just I want to make sure before we go too deep here.
I'm playing a doctor on TV right now.
Apparently so. Inside of 4 minutes to go. Well, the facts are facts. Harvard giving up just over 11 points a game. That's best in FCS football. Columbia scoring 12 points a game. 21-0 deficit is a hill of Everest qualities for how these two teams are built this season. Second down for Goodwin. He's looking for a long ball. He's got man coverage. There's a battle downfield, and it's broken up. Donahoe on the pass breakup intended for Beckett Robinson.
That back end of the Harvard defense, their secondary, coming into the season, it was the most experienced of the various levels. You can see right now, again, he has time to deliver the ball, gets it out there. Donahoe runs him down, showing some speed to catch up to the receiver. But that back end, the secondary, coming in the season, everybody thought that would be the strength, and they have been so far. But the other aspects, the other levels, the front level, the linebacker level, they've started playing well enough to catch up to the talent of that secondary.
Third down, a little miscommunication, almost turned into another interception for Damian Henderson, which would have been his 3rd this season. And Columbia 3 and out.
So here's a question for you. Does it feel to you like a 21-0 game? I mean, I know it is what it is. That's what the score is.
Do you want the honest answer?
Yeah.
It does.
All right.
You know why? Because Columbia had that great opening drive, and we talked about it before, like against Dartmouth. The only thing they had to show after that great opening drive was a pick 6 the other way. This one, they didn't get any points, and since then, if you take a look at the numbers for Columbia, they're just not doing anything positive. They've turned it over twice, and Harvard is the best team in the Ivy League at making you pay for your mistakes, and that's why they're the best team in the Ivy League in the standings.
They are. They'll force the turnovers, and then they'll punish you for them when they do.
I mean, you think about what Harvard has done so far this season. They've gone for 59 in a game twice. Their season low is 31 points in a game. That's happened twice, including last week against Dartmouth.
For that to be your season low, we talked about before, they are the number 6 team in FCS in points per game at 41. And if your low is 30-something, take a look at that. Games won by at least 20 points to start a season FCS. You saw the 3 teams, and Harvard is right up there. We said
Bascon for a couple on first down. I know in the second half, I want to get your thoughts on just where Harvard is in the big picture.
Yeah.
We know, we talked about it earlier, the FCS football committee's announcement of their ranking. Their second reveal had Harvard in the top 10 at number 9. Top 8 get a bye in the playoffs. Just want to see how you think the rest of the season's going to unfold and their place in the big picture when it comes to the FCS playoffs, if they are fortunate enough to get there. It looks like it's a done deal, a foregone conclusion, and I feel silly to say well, of course that's going to happen. Well, you don't know.
You don't know.
Still, you still have Penn next week. You still have Yale in 2 weeks.
And the Ivy League, as you know, has been notorious for tumultuous endings the last couple of games of the season. And this Harvard team, we'll talk about it more later, they're going to be looking at a good Penn team and a good Yale team. As strong as they are, they will be tested.
2-minute timeouts here in New York City, 21-0. Undefeated Harvard, 7-0 overall, 4-0 in the Ivy League, 7-0 for the first time since 2015, by the way. 13th ranked team in the country, on top 21-0 as we hit the final 2 minutes of the first half. Harvard 4-0, but Penn and Yale each at 3-1, and those are the two teams still remaining on Harvard's schedule after this week.
There was nothing easy for this Harvard team as they make their run to hopefully for them a title and shot the national title.
Craig looking deep again and turning around, trying to find it was Cam Henry. Double coverage this time and completes. 4th and 1 coming up.
So Harvard not taking their foot off the gas pedal. That ball was, not sure if it was Henry running the pattern or not running the pattern that Jaden Craig thought he was going to run, because it looked like he was leading him to the right. And Henry was running to the left. But Harvard wants more before halftime.
Go for on 4th down. Last time they did that, they scored a touchdown. They go on the ground. DJ Gordon turns the corner for the first down.
Get the ball to one of your speed rushers. Coach Ulrich told us that 18's the fastest guy on the team. And they've got some really fast guys here. But he said he's the fastest guy on the team. So when they moved him from quarterback, right now, you can see speed rush to the end. Nobody seals the edge. You know, Columbia has got to seal that edge to keep that inside. You can't let a guy like Gordon get on the outside of you.
Thrown outside to Bascon. Bascon turns the corner. He's got a first down. Inside the 30, Harvard looking for more, as Jack said before the end of this first half. Plenty of time left, all 3 timeouts remaining as well.
So you look at how many weapons they have, Harvard, all right? So they use 18 on that speed sweep. He turns the corner, gets a lot. Bascon comes up, they give it to him coming off the right side of that offense. So they keep coming at you, different players, different plays, different concepts, but great success.
Bascon again, short gain this time. Pushes it forward to about the 24-yard line. 236 yards of total offense for Harvard here in the first half. They're averaging 469 yards a game, which is good for 8th in FCS football. They can pile them up, and they usually finish off the drives. Craig on 2nd and 7. Breaking a tackle is Gordon. Couple of tackles taking it down to the 11-yard line.
That play shows you the patience that Jaden Craig brings to the position, his ability to go through his progressions. You could tell he was looking down. Wasn't there. Check down guy right over the middle. Delivers it to him right there. You can see Gordon checks down, and then you have missed tackles. And missed tackles will kill you against these guys from Harvard.
Gain of about 1 on the play. Andy Ulrich is going to use his first timeout, stopping the clock with 34 seconds to go in the first half.
Harvard. That's their first timeout of the half.
So the good thing for Harvard is
timeout.
with
Please
2
set the game clock to
timeouts still in the
35
pocket, every play is available to them. They can run up the middle, they can throw it over the middle. They don't need guys to get out of bounds to stop the clock. So they're in a really good position right now in terms of where the ball is located, the timeouts that they have left to utilize, that gives them the ability to use any play in their playbook.
Defense with 2 interceptions here in the second quarter. Remember their first couple of Ivy League wins against Brown. It was a pick 6 on the first play from scrimmage. Dorsey Benefield, who was out with an injury, linebacker for Harvard, took it back. Against Cornell, Austin Guillory had a fumble return for a touchdown to open the scoring for Harvard. They've been getting some big plays on both sides of the football, now trying to march down the field to go up 4 scores at halftime. And remember, Harvard will receive the kickoff to start the second half.
You watch Jaden Craig, when the really exceptional things about him, and the coaches have said this, as good as he is, never gets too high, never gets too low, regardless of how the play is working.
Second down and 9. Bascon has it. Carries a few bodies down to the 4. Another timeout called by Harvard.
You know, Bascon is not a big guy. He's about 5'8", 5'9". He's strong. He's about 200 pounds. But he is so effective running between the tackles. As you said, he carries bodies with him. And he's been doing that as long as he has been carrying the ball for Harvard. You can see the strength in his legs, upper body strength. So when you say somebody's not big, for him, really what you're saying, he's not tall. But he's big enough and strong enough that he's effective running between the tackles for Harvard.
Harvard is averaging 8 yards a play, 7 on that carry for Bascon. Junior from the Hunt, who opened the scoring with a 1-yard touchdown run with 2:11 to go in the first quarter. That was after Columbia ran 17 plays, but then missed a 28-yard field goal attempt. And it's been all Harvard since then. Third down. Craig's got it, trying to push his way to the goal line, and he is just short. That's going to stop the clock for the first down, and I think Ulrich is just going to tell Harvard just to keep things moving here and not burn the timeout as they spot the ball inside the 1.
Looked like he was so close to getting in. We talked about it before. He rarely is carrying the ball on. They'll spike the ball, stop the clock. Don't have to use their last timeout, keeping that in their pocket. Going back to Jaden Craig. We talked about, you and I talked about how he rarely carries the ball anymore, especially on designed runs. But we see them when they get down into that close red zone. We've seen it a couple of times. A couple of games ago, he did the same thing, got in for a touchdown. That was an exceptional play by the defense, Columbia defense, reading it and making a tackle to keep him come up short here with 18 seconds left. They still have one timeout left. So again, they can use, now they don't have much of a field to work with, but they can certainly use all the plays in their playbook without worrying about time expiring.
Second and goal from the 1. Bascon pushes in for another Harvard touchdown. Second touchdown run of the night for Exavea Bascon. And Harvard an extra point away from a 28-0 halftime lead.
Interesting this time. Remember last time before, he lifted his offensive lineman up to celebrate. He might have realized, those guys are all like 280, 290, 300 pounds. Maybe I don't have to do that every touchdown.
He did it once with Aiden Kihlstrom. That's it. That
once is enough.
Yeah, that takes care of leg day right there when you're lifting up your center. 28-0 for the undefeated Crimson. Left side of the line, Thomas O'Brien, number 71, is one to watch, along with the left tackle, Spencer Doan.
The push from this offensive line, and what we talked about before with Bascon, he finds seams between the tackles. It wasn't a big hole, it was a decent size hole, slipped a little bit to the left, found his seam, congratulating his offensive line. High fives all the way around, hugs, but I don't think we're going to lift anybody up anymore.
You just can't do it on your heels, right? You have to like step into it if you're going to lift up one of those 300-pound guys.
That's actually 2 days of leg work for him, as a matter of fact.
28-0 for the Crimson.
So the question is, if you're Don Poppy, what are you going to say to your team at halftime? Now, he is relentlessly upbeat, but I think he's also been realistic, certainly in talking with us about the team and their failures so far and the mistakes that they've made. 28-0. It's a hill to climb, especially against this nationally ranked defense for Harvard. Talked about it before. Number 1 defense in points per game, number 2 in total defense. So it'll be a chore, but I don't think you're going to see a Don Poppy-led team give up.
Remember, they won the coin toss. They elected to receive, and it looked to be the right decision because the offense was ready to go against this Harvard defense, and they marched down the field, but were unable to score.
Could have been, we would look at it as a brilliant decision right now because they got the ball, they established their offense, as you said, 17 plays, but couldn't come away with any points on the board.
So they'll take a knee, head to the locker room, and try to regroup. Harvard springing their step as they head to their locker room because they have scored 4 touchdowns, and they'll receive the kickoff to start the second half. 4th time that Harvard has pitched a first half shutout this season. And go back to 2003, pretty good when leading at halftime. I would like to break down the numbers at halftime to see how good they are with a 28-point lead at halftime. Something tells me
that's a really precise number.
I think it goes a little higher percentage. I mean, when you're talking about an undefeated team, you're talking about a total team, and everyone had a hand in a 28-0 Harvard lead at halftime.
Okay.
Maybe. Welcome back to ESPN College Football Primetime, presented by Ram Trucks. We are back in Manhattan, getting ready for the second half. Ivy League on a Friday night under the lights. First place, undefeated, Harvard, impressively on top of Columbia, 28-0 as we get ready for the third quarter. Eric Freed and Jack Ford back with you here at Columbia. We've been saying it all game long. Harvard is a very impressive team. offense, defense. We saw it all in that first half.
Yeah, and if you had any question whether or not Harvard was the real deal, they were probably answered in this first half. Doesn't mean that the game is over. We know Columbia has hurt themselves repeatedly here. They could get back into this, but you look at Harvard, and we talked in the beginning about their balance, all right? 143 yards in the air, 117 on the ground, that complementary football that coaches always talk about. That's why they are ranked number 9 just recently in the FCS Bowl.
Scored on 4 of their 5 possessions, but the very first possession of the game belonged to Columbia, and they marched down the field, but they were unable to score any points after an 18-play drive because they pushed this field goal attempt wide to the right. Harvard went to work after that.
They did, and they went to work with a vengeance here. So taking advantage of the no points on the first Columbia drive, we then see Xavier Bascon in the end zone, lifting up his offensive lineman. Right here, interception, Dak Donahoe, ball that we said before should never have been thrown. It's puzzling why Chase Goodwin would have delivered that ball. It gets down close, and then you can see Seamus Gilmore, the productive tight end. Jaden Craig congratulating him. This shows that NFL strength arm that we've talked about with Jaden Craig. Not only the strength, but the accuracy to drop it right in the hands of 15. And here we see now his mobility. Getting out of the pocket, finding a receiver he thought was open, making your own good luck because it bounces up in the air, and we see number 5, Seamus Gilmore, pick it off in the back of the end zone. And here Bascon once again powering his way off left tackle. We talked about his power, his strength between the tackles.
2 touchdowns for Gil Martin, 2 touchdowns for Bascon. You see the numbers, 260 yards for Harvard on 35 plays. 126 yards for Columbia on 34 plays. Second half kickoff will bounce out of the end zone. Touchback, and the Crimson will have their offense on the field to start things here in the third quarter. Jaden Craig in the first half, 12 of 15 passing, 143 yards and those 2 touchdowns. And that long pass play was the 58-yarder that you just saw a moment ago to Caden Kaufman.
Here's a statistic that tells us a lot about what happened. Harvard 4 for 4 in red zone chances and scores. Columbia 0 for 2 in the red zone.
Harvard +2 in turnover margin as well. That makes them a +8 on the season. And the first pass of the second half is to a familiar target. The tight end, Seamus Gilmartin, hauls it in. Big play on first down into Columbia territory. 29 yards.
Gilmartin gets up a little gingerly here. We're seeing him as emerging now as one of those top tight ends in the Harvard offense. Take a look what you're going to see now. Jaden Craig gets hammered here, but he still delivers the ball perfectly in stride to Gilmartin. Right there you can see getting the hit, but he's still able to deliver it.
Gilmartin to the sidelines after that 29-yard reception. First and 10 from the Columbia 46-yard line. On the ground, good stick by Charlie Newton. Josh Powell had the legs, Newton got the upper body.
One of the strengths of this Columbia defense during the course of the season, as difficult it's been for them, has been the play of their linebackers. And they have a history of developing really good linebackers. And this group that you're seeing now, you saw Charlie Newton right there in on that tackle. This group is good, but unfortunately they haven't been able to coordinate all 3 levels of the defense.
Timeout called by Harvard. Andy Ulrich calls an early timeout here. Didn't like something about how his offense was set up.
I think
So
one of the
early
things,
timeout burned by the
one of the
Crimson.
things he probably didn't like is letting number 1 get hit back there. You know, they've been very good. I think they only had given up maybe 3 sacks, if I'm correct, coming into
Six,
this
because
season.
Dartmouth had 4 last
Yes,
week,
you're
but
right.
2 before the Dartmouth game, and Craig really hadn't been hit much in the first half of the season.
Yep.
Beyond any sacks. I
Yeah.
mean, he's been throwing out of a pretty clean pocket
he has
and
been
protected well by
upright
his
all
teammates.
the time. They're getting some pressure on him here for Columbia. Let's see if the Columbia defense can capitalize that and keep putting pressure on number 1. You know, you watch him, we talked about before, he just never gets too high or never gets too low. He's just on such an even keel, and he's such a talented athlete.
Throws it quickly to the outside to Dean Boyd. First reception of the night for Boyd, his 19th of the season.
You see a lot of teams use that quick wide receiver screen. Usually, we've talked about this before, to make it work, you got two defenders out there. That means one wide receiver has to put a block, and then the catching receiver has to make one guy miss. But the pursuit from the inside is what stopped that play.
Harvard 3 for 6 tonight, 47% on third down this season. Craig facing pressure from Powell, throws against his body. A flag is down on the play. Is it a catch? The officials say yes.
Not surprisingly, the Columbia
Now
sideline
they
says
say no. Now they say no. A little bit of a delay there. But there is a flag down as well. Probably holding on Harvard. So holding on Harvard. Spencer Doan gets called for the hold.
Not surprisingly, Columbia decides to decline the penalty.
And Harvard, for the second time tonight, will punt.
Good start for the Columbia defense. You know, they got rattled in that second quarter. And Harvard threw up a bunch of points on them. Coming out here for this first drive, they needed to try to assert themselves in some way, shape, or form. And the best way to do that is to get the Harvard offense off the field. So success for that Columbia defense in that series.
Fingers on the punt. Kelly back. Bounces at the 1 and into the end zone for a touchback. We'll take a timeout with 12:43 to go in the third quarter. Undefeated Harvard rolling in NYC. Chase Goodwin ready to bring Columbia and the offense onto the field for the first time in the second half. Jack, that first drive of the game 17 plays, covered 77 yards. Since then for Columbia, 22 plays, 49 yards.
It's just, we've said it before, they just continue to hurt themselves. Now let's see if they can take advantage of some momentum generated by the offense getting the defense getting the Harvard offense off the field.
They'll go to the ground on first down with Michael Walters. Walters picks up 4. 6 carries for 20 yards in the first half for the freshman. Came in averaging just under 4.5 yards a carry. Harvard giving up on average 89 yards a game on the ground. And Columbia pushes forward. That's going to be very close to first down yardage. About a yard short, so 3rd down and 1 coming up after that carry. Jack Kirkwood, senior from Omaha, there on the stop.
I think what that shows us is that Columbia is not going to go away from the game plan. They're not going to panic. They're not 24-0, but come out first 2 plays, running plays, want to establish something on the ground.
Add to those numbers, now 16 total takeaways on the season. Goodwin is hit for a loss on 3rd down. Sean Line. We keep saying Sean Line's name over and over because it feels like he's been in on just about every play for this Harvard team. Jake Darling there as well.
One of the hallmarks of this Harvard defense is speed. He can run things down right there. Great job of sealing the edge. We talked about Sean Line. He just didn't buy the fake. See, his job was coming off that edge to seal the edge, kept Chase Goodwin from going anywhere. So great job by the Harvard defense, stopping, holding them, forcing the punt.
Sleeman the punt. Brady Blackburn back on the return. Blackburn backpedaling, and he'll try a return from the 31-yard line. Good coverage by Columbia. Blackburn gets out to about the 35-yard line, and Jaden Craig will bring the offense onto the field. A reminder, coming up tomorrow, ABC College Football tripleheader beginning at noon. 7th-ranked BYU, 8th-ranked Texas Tech. Then undefeated and 3rd-ranked Texas A&M will take on 22nd-ranked Mizzou. LSU and 4th-ranked Alabama wrap up the day. You can also catch the games on the all-new ESPN app. And, of course, start your day with Game Day. And if you do, like you should, like most people do, you're going to see Patrick Mahomes at his alma mater as the guest picker at Texas Tech. All eyes on Lubbock, starting with Game Day bright and early tomorrow morning, 9 a.m. Eastern time, and they keep it going with that BYU-Texas Tech showdown. BYU, of course, 8-0, Tech 8-1 on the season.
How much fun is that going to be for Game Day and the crowd there with Patrick Mahomes on the seat as the guest picker?
Bascon picks up 8 on first down, 2nd down and 2. Craig throwing and a little off the mark and out of sync with Brady Blackburn. Blackburn, the number 2 receiver for this Harvard team this year, 25 catches on the season.
Let me go back for a second to that 3rd down play by Columbia. And I understand what the concept was. It was like, okay, we've been good on the ground for 2 plays. Let's cross them up and put the ball in the air. But it makes you ask, well, you have been good on the ground for 2 plays. So do you really need to cross them up, or do you still go with what got you to that 3rd and short?
3rd and 2. Craig, he's got it, and he's got the first down out of bounds after a gain of 4.
That's one of the ways he can hurt you. He can get out on the edge, and the problem then is you're the edge defender is, okay, do I stay back in coverage so I don't give him the bigger play? Or do I have to come up and force him, try to keep him from using his legs? And he just puts them in an edge dilemma. You can see right now that defenders are, do I come up? Do I stay back? Do I play pass defense? Do I try and stop him on the ground? And that's how he stresses that defense.
Bascon hit at the 50, falls forward for a couple after that.
We've seen a couple of times now how Bascon is so quick to the hole that he's at the second level before anybody touches him.
Ten carries, 64 yards, and a couple of touchdowns for Exavea. Kaufman in motion. 2nd and 5. Another run for Harvard. They're going to give him enough for the first down and move the sticks.
One of the problems that Columbia's had is that they haven't been able to win the first or second downs through the course of the season. And they've been known traditionally as having a good, solid defense. This defense has struggled a little bit to win those first and second downs, to put an offense, especially an offense as good as Harvard, in a 3rd and longer situation.
Harvard sticks with the ground game and sticks with Bascon. Brought down at the 40, gain of 3. Harvard had 110 yards on the ground against a very strong Dartmouth team. It was through the air where they did most of their damage. 322 yards passing for Craig in that game. Win for the Crimson, and it was, as always, one of the most exciting, well-attended games on the Ivy League schedule every year, Dartmouth and Harvard. Craig gets away from Powell, throws on the run, and it is caught. Cam Henry at the 6-yard line. Craig on the scramble. Good, strong throw. 1st and goal, Crimson.
One of the interesting ideas about an underthrown ball, underthrown deep ball. First of all, you can see Jaden Craig, once again, that little shoulder shrug gets him on the edge, underthrows the ball, and it allows the offensive guy who's watching the flight the entire time to come back. The defender is still running with him and doesn't have the ability to come back in and pick up that short ball. So you'll see oftentimes, you know, a quarterback will throw short on that long play. Either his guy will catch it, might put him in a situation where you get defensive pass interference, but good quarterbacks, good receivers will know deep pass, short ball, a good, smart receiver will make the best of it and come up with the reception.
34 yards, Craig to Henry. Henry now with 5 catches, 68 yards on the day. There's a player hurt for Columbia, just getting helped up and jogging off the field. It's the middle of the end zone. The play was over on the right side. Ethan Fullerton jogging to the huddle.
Can I make a comment on the shorts that we're seeing, the bicycle short?
You mean the football pants?
The football
pants.
They're theoretically.
No, they're pants.
Theoretically. It's funny because you're seeing now the commentator Kirk Herbstreit mentioned it, and it was really funny last week talking about some of the guys who he used the term the Daisy Dukes, if you remember, from the Dukes of Hazzard. And we're seeing everybody wearing them, even though it's against the rules.
That's incomplete. If you're looking for full service analysis, you have come to the right place, because Jack Ford is going to talk about fashion. He's going to talk about 70s sitcoms.
We could do all of those
shorts that were worn by one of the key characters.
Well, you're throwing out Bob Seger before. So,
I was.
You know, and the point is, does it make a difference? Does it give anybody an advantage? I don't think it probably does. But the point is, there is a rule, a clear NCAA rule, and somebody's going to have to decide, is it a rule that we enforce, or do we just take it off the books?
There's Bascon, little stutter step, trying to find an opening, does not, brought down at the 4-yard line. So now we're hearing from the lawyer, Jack Ford.
Exactly.
Thinking about bringing some sort of suit against college football players.
I remember saying it to
By the way, our research department sends their regards for that.
Yeah, thanks, guys. I really appreciate it, especially the Harvard note.
We may bring that back in a couple of weeks at the game when we're at the bowl.
But it reminds me of things I said to my kids when they were growing up, and the answer was no, because I said so, because it's the rule. You can't do it. But I think I just find it humorous, and I'm curious to see what the rules the NCAA folks do about it.
3rd down and 4. Here's Craig. Pass is broken up, intended for Ryan Osborne, one of his tight ends. I think 86 was the intended receiver. Reska was kind of behind him, and Harvard will bring on the field goal unit.
It's kind of odd. You have a lot of guys, a lot of receivers in the same area, and I don't think they wanted that. I got a feeling that right there you have somebody dodging as Reska comes across. Just good coverage by, I think, the Columbia defense, and good to hold them to a field goal attempt. Let's see whether they can put 3 extra points on the board or not.
That was freshman Andrew Burmeister, who's played well for Columbia on the coverage. Kieran Core puts it through for 3, and Harvard on a 22-yard field goal adds to their lead. 31-0 Crimson on top as Core connects for the 10th time in 12 tries this season. Back in New York City at Columbia, Harvard gets a 22-yard field goal from Kieran Core to make it 31-0. There is a path for the Crimson, by the way, to capture an Ivy League title, at least a share of the title this week. And if they win here tonight and Brown beats Yale and Cornell beats Penn, then they will clinch. The Crimson will at least a share of the Ivy League title. Of course, only the Ivy League champion, after a tiebreaker if necessary, will go to the FCS playoffs. This is what the FCS committee thinks of Harvard. 9 in the latest reveal. And the top 8, remember, get an automatic bye. They get a bye in that first round. Touchback here. Columbia will start off.
And if 25. Harvard does run the table, and we talk about this next week, they got a tough Penn team who also has just 1 loss, so they got a lot to play for. Week after that, in the game, a tough Yale team as of now, only 1 loss. So, but if they run the table, I got to believe they're going to move up higher. They'll get a bye in the first round.
Absolutely.
And I think this Harvard team could do some damage if they, in fact, they keep playing the way they are playing and get into the championship playoff.
But they have 2 tough games remaining. Penn next Saturday. Last year, Penn led Harvard 21-7, ended up losing 31-28. Dylan Fingers hit a field goal as time expired. 2 years ago, at Harvard Stadium, classic. Went into a couple overtimes.
One of the great games in the last 10
Harvard
years.
pulled it
Great
out
Ivy games.
25-23. So when you add up the records, this is the record as of tonight for Harvard's first 8 opponents, including tonight's opponent, Columbia, who comes in with a 1-6 record. You saw the record, 22-40, but there's tough stuff ahead when you take a look at a combined 10-4 between Penn, who we saw last week. They've got some talented playmakers, a talented quarterback, and then Yale. And we all know what Yale has done against Harvard the last couple of years.
Yeah, that game is always a toss-up. There was no home field advantage for Harvard. Yale never has been. I'm going to give you credit for coming up with those stats because they were pretty impressive, and they came directly from you.
Yale has won 6 of the last 8 meetings in the game with Harvard, by the way. Columbia trying to find some traction here against this Harvard defense. They've got a first down. They've got a handoff to Michael Walters.
I've been really impressed by Michael Walters. Remember, he's a first-year player. He's a big kid. When you look at him, he's like 6'2", 225, so he has some power running. But you saw right there, he's got vision. He's not just a plow guy who's going to just put his head down and go. He slides nicely. He finds some openings, and Columbia is very high on what his future is going to be here.
Kind of getting my context clues here. Jaden Craig, if he's got the green hat on, that may mean we see Dante Torres on the next series for Harvard. Catch by Ethan Hebb with Damian Henderson there on the stop.
We're seeing Columbia trying to play a little faster. Trying to get this Harvard defense back on their heels a little bit.
Walters, a couple of more hard yards for Michael Walters.
That would be such a smart move, back to what you said about taking Jaden Craig out. 31-0. Could you imagine if he gets hurt in a game where they were up 31-0? So I think a smart idea, get the backup in. He's played a little bit. Dante Torres is a highly recruited prospect there, and let's give him some more snaps in case we need him.
And Andy Ulrich has been very cautious about that this year. There have been 2 previous games this year where Craig didn't take a snap in the second half. Looks like he'll be done in the third quarter tonight. Griffin Johnson for a yard more.
Go back for a second to Jaden Craig, and you see how impressive his numbers have been. Can you imagine how much more impressive they'd be if he was actually playing complete games? So it gives you a sense, him sitting on the sideline with the green hat on. Interesting, his connection to Harvard. He's from Seton Hall Prep, one of the great programs in New Jersey. His grandmother got both her master's and a doctorate at Harvard, which kind of set him up for being interested in going there.
Pressure up the middle, picked up by the line for Columbia. And that's going to be a completion to Evans to the 45. So 4th down and 3 coming up for Columbia. They will leave the offense on the field, of course.
Looking to the call from the sidelines.
Lucas Bullock in the backfield with Goodwin on 4th down and 3. Here comes pressure. Goodwin had to get rid of it quickly, and it's complete. Doherty has it. First down, Columbia.
That's an impressive effort by Goodwin because he had free runners coming at him from both edges and was able to still get that ball off and get that ball off accurately. Harvard deciding to put pressure on him in that short down situation, short yardage situation. So just an exceptional play by 15.
Another run here for Columbia. Another positive play for the Lions as they continue to stack together some positive plays, trying to get on the board here as we approach the end of the third quarter.
I think this is smart of Columbia. Look, they're saying, all right, realistically, are we going to win this game? No. So let's do this. Let's not panic. Let's not get away from who we are. Let's not try to fill the air with footballs. Let's do our regular game plan, which we know worked in the first drive, in the first quarter, except for they didn't put up any points. But they're staying with who they are and trying to develop some momentum for the next couple of games.
Johnson bounces forward down to the 26-yard line. First down at Columbia. Zayden Benson on the stop.
This Harvard defense, proud of what they have become, what they developed into. We talked about it before, #1 in the nation in FCS, allowing only 11 points per game. So they're looking to continue this shutout here.
By far the best drive for Columbia since that first drive of the game. Goodwin has his tight end. This time it's O'Sullivan and not Doherty who's got the reception. Casey O'Sullivan, just his 3rd catch of the season, and that will be the final play of the 3rd quarter. So Columbia with a little momentum, but there's no doubt who's been in control of this game. It is the undefeated Harvard Crimson, up 31 after 3. Back here at Kraft Field, about 100 blocks or so north of the main Columbia campus.
Here's a fact.
Fans turning out here tonight on ESPN College Football Primetime, presented by Ram Trucks.
Here's a fact for you. The original Columbia Field,
Which you played
was called
on.
South Field,
Oh, no, not
and
that
up
one.
until the 1920s, and it's right on campus. So they played right on campus. South Field is now part of Butler Library. 1922, they moved up here. It was Baker Stadium, 32,000.
That's where you played.
That's where I
Not
played.
the one on campus.
And,
just wanna
and
make
in the
it
80s, they knocked that down and built this facility. It's a lovely facility.
clear. Second down and 3, first play of the fourth quarter. Goodwin carries. Jack Kirkwood there with the final hit for Harvard. Third and short coming up. Player to slow to get up for Columbia. A.J. George. Take a look at Wine Stadium.
And Robert Kraft Field. Robert Kraft, the owner of the Patriots, went to Columbia, was on the football team for a while, and he is a devoted alum, and he's provided great assistance to the Columbia facilities.
Xander Menapace at quarterback. Menapace on third down and 1. He's going to have enough on that first push to get the first down. Needed to get inside the 16, which he did. So remember, we saw Menapace early when Goodwin was hurt, and then we saw Menapace again when Goodwin needed his helmet repaired. And now Menapace jogging off as they put in different plays just to try to get that short yardage with Xander Menapace.
And given the concussion problems that 15 has had, they're probably saying, look, let's not make Chase Goodwin have to get that 1 yard. Let's bring Menapace in. Let him contribute in this package.
Goodwin back at quarterback for first down. Pressure. Goodwin had to get rid of it quickly. Incomplete. Back in the end zone. Titus Evans almost got those feet down. He has made some great acrobatic catches this season and almost added one to the highlight tape.
That would have been a fabulous grab. The key to the play, though, was the pressure into the face of Chase Goodwin. Made him release that ball quickly. Now, here's the question. Does a foot get in? Catch?
Oh, does he have possession, though? Hold. Hold. Does he have control?
Well, that's looking like a touchdown to me. Right
They
there.
are going to review it,
Possession.
Jack.
Good. Looks like the toe is in.
Oh, man.
Didn't bobble.
Did
Finish it
Titus
up.
do it again?
Oh.
Did he do it again?
We said it in the beginning. He's been their guy this season. The acrobatic catches. John Poppy looking on. Let's see if, I'm sure in his mind he's saying, can we get a break here?
Titus is saying, didn't they see what I did this year? Didn't they see what I did against Penn? My question is, was there a slight bobble at the very moment when he grabbed it and that foot was down?
So it looks right there, toe down. Toe is definitely down.
I think that
Inbounds.
but that previous angle, Jack,
Yeah.
I'd love to watch that one again.
This
Jack.
angle doesn't show any ball movement.
I'm just curious, that first one, was there just a little bit of a gather at that first touch? And at that moment, that's when his foot
Let's
was
see
down.
right here. I think this is where you're talking. Good view. Toe down. Two hands on the ball.
But does the ball
See if the ball
just
moves
come
at all.
a inch loose? Maybe not.
Two hands on it.
But you can see the ball come away from his chest a little bit.
But I still, it looks like I still think he's got control of it. I think it's a movement, but not a bobble. Do you know what I mean? So still in his hands. And I'm sure there's some viewers saying, "Oh, come on, give him the touchdown." You know,
Those viewers are
it's
not wearing crimson
They
colors,
are not
my
wearing
friends.
that, but I'm sure they're saying, "Come on, give him a break here." But that a fantastic effort. And we've seen that before, but just, you know, in terms of his ability to make plays, Titus Evans, and you know, we talked about it, his first 2 years, he only had 22 catches. coming into this game, he had 33, and he's added to that total here. So here's a guy, you know, the Ivy coaches talk about developing players. They don't bring in a ton of guys in the portal. Once in a while, you get a transfer in. But the Ivy coaches say, and what they believe in deeply, is we're going to bring in guys and we are going to develop them. And you're seeing it in both of these teams, especially in Harvard. We talked about this Harvard defense. They lost their top 5 linebackers from last year. They had to bring in brand new linebackers. You know, guys had taken snaps and they'd done some special teams, but they weren't starters. Let's see the call. Yeah, said good.
All right, so the microphone's not working, but I think we can follow his cues and the reaction
and
on the Columbia sideline.
I saw
touchdown.
him say foot in bounds, and then, which is what we said. John Poppy saying, all right, let's go for 2, guys. You know, let's make this a learning, growing experience for us here. Like we said, that realistically, they're not going to win this game, but they want to make it competitive. And they want to prepare themselves for the last few games of the season. So they'll get that touchdown, and he said, let's go for 2. Let's create some momentum for ourselves. Moving the ball to the opposite hash. They get to choose. Actually, ball kind of between the hashes, but they like it slightly towards the right. Let's see what sort of 2-point play they come up with.
Harvard's going to use their second timeout of the second half to get their personnel right. So it's a 15-yard touchdown reception for the junior from Mansfield, Texas, Titus Evans. His 3rd touchdown this season. That gives him 3 for his career. Jack talked about in the past, he had 12 catches in 2023, 10 catches last year, was battling a hamstring problem, but he has jumped up to be the lead receiver and one of the top receivers in the Ivy League.
He's made himself, right, one of the top receivers in the league. A pressure receiver, an acrobatic receiver. The 2 components that made that play was Chase Goodwin getting that ball off with all sorts of pressure in his face, delivering it in the position where, again, only his receiver could make the play, and his receiver did indeed make that play, Titus Evans. Let's see what they come up with for a 2-point play.
Goodwin throwing, turning, and throwing towards the pylon. Columbia thinks they've got the 2, but the officials have not thrown up their arms, saying that it's a successful conversion.
One official missing a hat, which is usually an indication that somebody ran out of bounds. You see the official toss the hat.
So the conversion is unsuccessful. 31-6 is our score. Sean Poppy getting an explanation. This is that conversion attempt. Well, caught it on the pylon, but they say unsuccessful conversion by Ethan Hebb. Columbia's on the board, though, in the 4th, 31-6, Harvard.
so much?
It's 31-6. There is a chance it could be 31-8 because while we were away, they continued to review that two-point conversion. We've looked at multiple angles, and I think the end result is an unsuccessful try for two for Columbia. Trying to see a few things here. One, was it a catch? Two, did he ever get the knee down before he went out of bounds? I think that's probably the determining factor, but took a long look at it.
And is that ball being bobbled at the end?
That would be another thing to look at as well.
I think there are a lot of things there that would have prevented them from saying clear and obvious that he scored.
Harvard takes it out to the 30-yard line. They'll bring the offense on the field with number 2 quarterback coming out when we come back. Remember how we talked about the night being done for Jaden Craig? At least it looked that way. Not so fast, my friend.
Oh, good. Lee, we keep Lee here in the box with us. But I got to be honest, it's kind of puzzling. I guess because all of a sudden there's not a 0 on the board, they want to just be careful and bring him back in. But God forbid something happens to him when they're up by this much in the fourth quarter. I'm sure the coaches said, "You're not running the ball. Let's just hand it off."
Well, this is what he's done when he's been on the field today. Throwing, running, finding receivers, deflecting from one receiver to another. It's been that kind of night. Cam Henry, who's been his #1 target tonight. 1st and 10 from the 30 for Craig, and he's going to throw on 1st down, and that's incomplete, intended for Brady Blackburn.
That's one of their favorite plays. You get him on the edge. You get the wide guy, sort of single coverage. does about an 8 to 10 yard out, and it's been a staple of this offense. We've seen it miss a couple of times tonight. That was one of the situations where it missed.
Interesting, too. If you thought on first down, Harvard was going to come out and just try to run it right at Columbia the rest of the way. They go to the pass play on first down. They go to the run play on second down, and Columbia's ready for it. Some inspired play by Columbia. The offense just had a 14-play, 75-yard drive that took 7 minutes and 48 seconds. And now the defense trying to get that offense back on the field pretty quickly here.
We said going into the second half, here's the one thing we know about a John Poppy coach team. They are not going to quit. They will come back out, and they're playing this as if it was 0-0 when they started that second half. And we've seen evidence of that on the drive for the touchdown and now how the defense is playing.
Third down and 10. Here comes the pressure, thrown the outside. Another good job done by Columbia. It's going to be 3 and out. Tattersall hit after he caught it. Pick up a 4 yards, and the Crimson will punt. Carter McRae on the stop.
I wonder if that play was designed to be a 4 or 5 yard out and then maybe hope that the receiver will make somebody miss and get the rest. Ordinarily, you'd see plays where receivers are told, get to the first down marker and see what happens here, but they come up short, and the Columbia defense doing its job, giving the offense another chance.
Fingers got it away. Takes a Harvard roll down inside the 20, and it will finally come to a stop after some waving at it. This is not curling, my friends. It stops at the 16-yard line. So Columbia playing as well as they have since that first drive of the first quarter, bring the offense on the field now.
ESPN College Football Primetime is presented by Ram, official sponsor of the College Football Playoff.
One of Columbia's all-time greats, Marty Domres, star quarterback in the 60s, played in the NFL, who passed away last month. What an impact he had on this Columbia program.
One of their all-time stars, a great supporter of this program. Number 9 overall draft pick in 1969. He's the guy who replaced Johnny Unitas with the Colts. And he stayed very close to Johnny Unitas after that happened. We'll talk a little bit more about Marty Domres in just a second.
Columbia, after getting on the board here in the fourth quarter, they have the ball back after forcing Harvard into a 3-and-out. They've had success on the grounds against this Harvard defense. Push forward for a gain of 6 on first down.
Back to Marty Domres. I had a chance to see him play. I was a freshman. He was a senior. In that era, the NCAA did not allow freshmen to play varsity. So we had full freshman teams. He played 3 varsity seasons. Marty Domres, I saw him play in a rainy day in the Yale Bowl against one of Yale's best all-time teams, and he just filled the air with footballs.
2nd down to 4. Floated up and making the adjustment and making the catch at midfield is Jordan Kelly. Kelly inside the 50. Big play for Columbia. Lions putting up a fight here in the 4th.
No quit in the Lions. Once again, one of those underthrown deep balls where the receiver is able to make the play back on it, has an advantage over the defender, given a little bit of time to develop the play. You can see him coming back for that reception. Second time we've seen that in a connection between number 15, the quarterback Chase Godwin, and his wide receivers.
Pickup of 30, first down at 10 from the 49, trying to set up the screen, and Harvard did not allow anything to get developed.
Last thought, if I can, with Marty Domres. He played on 3 2-7 Columbia squads. And at the end of those 3 years, he held just about all of the Ivy League passing records. To give you an idea of how talented he was. Big, 6'4", a big arm. You saw the number 9 pick in that NFL draft. Interestingly, that year, the Ivy League had 2 number 1 choices. Calvin Hill from Yale to the Dallas Cowboys, and Marty Domres. Marty Domres just a hero for Columbia, and they will certainly miss him.
2nd down and 10. Henderson comes up with a stop. The pass to Johnson, and a player is down for Harvard. I think it might be Henderson who came up and made the tackle. Looks to be in that area. Let's see if it is number 7. Just can't see right now. I think it is, though. Yeah, it is.
Harvard has a lot of their first liners still on the field. Hopefully Damian Henderson is going to be okay. Harvard has a lot of their first liners still in there. They are wanting to protect some of their statistics because they know that the statistics may well be meaningful when it comes time to select teams. Henderson, you see they're working on that right shoulder. He came in and made that contact, that driving tackle. Hopefully he'll be all right, getting up on his own, which is always good to see.
Damian, a 3-year starter for the Harvard defense. Impact player as a first year.
You can see him coming up from his defensive back position, just leans into that tackle. You can see right away on the impact, he starts to guard that right shoulder. He doesn't hold on. Somebody else finishes the tackle, but you can see how that impact right there on that shoulder, immediately he comes off of the tackle.
So sophomore DJ Thomas will come on in place of Henderson.
You mentioned that Henderson has been one of the stars in this defensive backfield for Harvard.
Great catch. I don't know how Goodwin completed that one, but it's hauled in, and it's another first down for Columbia. Another tough grab by Titus Evans, who had the touchdown catch. This one,
you can see Evans just again squares up what he's done before. Defender comes over the top of him. Evans manages to hold on after he gets flipped over. So this has been kind of the Titus Evans show so far tonight.
Duke Bradley hit him right away. That time Evans broke off the route, and Goodwin threw it deep, incomplete. Second down coming up.
You can see Evans kind of pounding his chest saying, okay, my mistake. Obviously, they were not on the same page. Goodwin had him continuing that pattern. Evans saw the coverage. They each saw different coverages. Evans looked at the coverage and thought, I should break it off. Goodwin saw the coverage and figured he was going to continue in the pattern down the sideline.
Goodwin is going to be sacked.
So Harvard's been able to generate some pressure so far tonight without having to rely on any blitz packages. We've seen once or twice they've sent some of the linebackers off the edge.
Jack,
take a look at this.
Harvard thinks they have the football, waiting for the officials to make the signal. They say it's Columbia ball, but Harvard thought they had it.
It looks like it came out at the very end. So
Alex DeGreek, I think, is going to get credit for the sack. That will give him 5 on the season. That's #1 on the Harvard team.
We were saying before, Harvard's been able to generate some pressure. They did it on that play just with their 4-down linemen. Once in a while, they'll send a linebacker off at the edge, but they feel comfortable using these 4 guys to generate that pressure.
3rd and 11, more pressure. Goodwin is sacked again. Josh Fed gets there for his 3rd sack of the season.
Giving us a sense of how talented and effective this Harvard defensive line has been. Once again, you got 4 guys. You've got a twist going on the right side. It's enough to break up the blocking pattern and force Goodwin up the middle. Let's see what they can do now on 4th.
4th down and 11 for the Lions. Once again, Goodwin facing pressure. The pass is caught for the 1st down. These Columbia receivers have come up with a couple of nifty grabs in the 4th quarter. This time it's Beckett Robinson with the reception. 14 yards.
Tell you, Chase Goodwin is a tough guy. This time Harvard did bring some pressure, came right up the middle, almost a free runner right in his face. He steps in and delivers that pass to convert it to a 1st down.
Bullock on the carry. He's got a couple. Clock inside of 7 minutes to go and running here in the 4th quarter. One thing that we criticized Columbia for in the 1st half, I just want to point out in the 2nd half, they played penalty-free football so far in the 2nd half. And you can see what happens. That touchdown drive, there was nothing that pushed them back 5 or 10 yards. They kept moving forward. They've been moving forward here for John Poppy and doing some positive things. It just feels like it's too little too late at the moment as Goodwin throws again.
And you're right, it is too little too late, but it has to give them some hope and inspiration because John Poppy can sit down and show the film of the 2nd half, right? This week when they're getting ready to play and they're doing a kind of a look back on this, and he can show the film in the 2nd half and say, you know what, if we played this way in the 1st half, we would have been in this game. We didn't hurt ourselves in each and every one of these drives. We converted on tough 4th down situations. So, look, they're not going to come out with a win. But I think Columbia will come out after this 2nd half feeling a lot better about themselves than they did after the 1st half.
They've been working towards and hoping to play a complete game at some point this season. They've outscored Harvard 6-3 in the 2nd half. Blitz coming from the Crimson, thrown underneath to the 11-yard line on 3rd down. That's enough for a 1st down. Casey O'Sullivan has his 2nd reception. And it's 1st down and 10 from the 11 for the Lions.
We've seen a couple of instances now of the strength of Chase Goodwin's arm. He is throwing, moving backwards, moving sideways, guys in his face, and delivering a bullet right over the middle to continue this drive.
13th play of this drive for Columbia. Pressure again, Goodwin in trouble again, and down he goes again. Steven Skordas with the sack.
And this time Harvard once again sends an additional guy, puts some pressure to try to get in the face of Chase Goodwin. You can see coming off the right edge, and it's just enough. They collapse that pocket, force him up into the pocket where 88 is waiting for him.
First sack for Skordas, the junior from State College, PA. Second down for Columbia. Goodwin lofts it towards the corner. This time it's incomplete.
Once again, Harvard sends 5 guys. The last couple of plays, they've decided, let's put some pressure on Chase Goodwin. Let's not let him sit back there and find his targets without anybody in his face. So we've seen 2 plays in a row now where Harvard has sent a 5th guy to create some pressure. Take a look at the statistics here. Eric's exactly what you're talking about in terms of the second half. Look at those numbers. 11 for 14, 105 yards in the second half, as opposed to 54 yards in the first half. Extrapolate those numbers, extend them to a good first half, and this is a much closer game.
Defense has held Harvard to just 3 points in the second half. Columbia has a touchdown, looking for another one. Goodwin steps into it, but throws incomplete. 4th down coming up. Kelly, the intended receiver. DJ Thomas there in coverage. Remember, Thomas on for one of their top players on defense, Damian Henderson, who was injured here in the 4th quarter.
That play once again, Harvard came with some pressure. And what you saw is that Chase Goodwin just delivered the ball a little bit behind his receiver. So 4th and 12 here. Let's see what kind of play they come up with. They would love to keep this drive alive. Come away with some points here, and some meaningful points in this 4th quarter.
Trying to stay perfect on 4th down. The pass is incomplete. Intended for Evans, a little bit behind him. Austin Guillory on the coverage, and Harvard will take over on downs. So Columbia moves down the field, but they come up empty. 4th quarter here in New York. Crimson trying to put away a win. Reminder, coming up tomorrow, ABC College Football Tripleheader. It starts at noon Eastern Time. Top 10 showdown in the Big 12. BYU and Texas Tech Then undefeated and third-ranked Texas A&M will take on 22nd-ranked Mizzou. LSU and fourth-ranked Alabama wrap up the tripleheader. You can also catch the games on the all-new ESPN app. Mizzou last beat A&M 11 years ago, so trying to hand the Aggies their first loss. See it all coming up tomorrow. Harvard hasn't run away with this one as expected. Yes, it was 28-0 at halftime, but the second half, Columbia's outscored Harvard 6-3. Now, Dante Torres is into the game at quarterback. Xavier Bascon with carry. Torres, the junior from East Northport, New York.
Dante Torres, highly recruited. Some of the recruiting services had him a 5-star. Coming out of St. Anthony's, which is a great athletic powerhouse. He's from Massapequa, New York. You can see big, 6'3", 195. He's got a lot of talent, so they are looking to develop him, give him some meaningful snaps here. So hopefully they need him moving forward. If they do, they will have him, but certainly helping him get ready for next year.
5th appearance this season for Torres as Craig is done for the Knights after going 16 of 24, 213 yards and a couple of touchdowns. Columbia swarming Bascon, and a timeout's called here by Columbia. Drew Burmeister, the freshman, leading the charge.
Drew Burmeister, an interesting story. As you said, he's a first-year player. Worked his way into this lineup, and now the coaches have said he may well be their most consistent player on defense.
So the timeout called by Columbia with the 3rd and 6 coming up. Gives me a chance to remind you that tomorrow night, 10:30 p.m. Eastern Time, our NBA on ESPN matchup will feature the Suns and the Clippers. Coverage tips off at 10 p.m. Eastern with NBA Countdown. Both are available on the all-new ESPN app. This, of course, kicks off our... Let's see, Jack. What week is this? This is the 8th week of Ivy League. It's amazing how quickly it goes.
Because you and I were waiting for it to get started, and then once it started, it just moved like a rocket.
So this is week 8. In past years, week 10 would be full stop. You knew the season was over at that point, all done. But for one and maybe more teams from the Ivy League, it will continue on beyond that week 10 into the FCS playoffs. Torres to pass. Now thinking about the run. And he wants to stay in bounds to make Columbia burn a timeout, which he does. Brought down at the 20-yard line.
Another thing that the Ivy League itself is looking at is, okay, we know we're going to get 1 team in. Might we get 2? How great would that be our first year? And also, might we get a home game? Or even more, because after those byes in the FCS, the playoffs, that championship series, you get home games, higher rated team, until you get to the championship.
Harvard has put in a bid to host the FCS playoffs. They do have lights at Harvard Stadium, so that checks a couple of boxes right there. But this is what's so impressive, because Harvard, if they win here today, even if Harvard goes undefeated into that game against Yale, and Yale is able to beat Brown tomorrow, and then they have the showdown against Princeton. If Yale goes into the game with 1 loss and Harvard's undefeated, well, that game would be winner take all for the automatic bid to the FCS playoffs. And if Yale would win that game, you'd have to consider Harvard.
You would think so.
Of course, for an at-large
You would think
bid.
so. How great would that be? Harvard and Yale getting into the tournament. We're looking way ahead of ourselves, but it's fun for us to do that. So that, we talked about how important these next couple of weeks are going to be for all of these teams.
Fingers to punt. I don't know if anybody got a piece of that one. Didn't come out very clean, that's for sure. It's going to bounce up and be picked up by Columbia and brought into Harvard territory. Down to the 46-yard line goes Jordan Kelly. So Columbia with 2:54 left will bring the offense on the field. Well, the game is November 22nd in New Haven. Yale has won 3 in a row in the series. It'll be the 141st meeting. The last 2 meetings certainly were memorable at the Yale Bowl. The victory over Harvard, 23-18. Tony Reno and his team celebrating. Ivy Championship, and Yale play the role of spoiler. Abu Kamara, who's been just a dynamic
He's been
performer
mid-season
for Yale.
first-team All-American. He's the real deal. Josh Pitzenberger, you can see, is also leading the league in rushing. So once again, Yale upset, as you said, role of spoiler. They don't get a piece of it, but they allowed some other teams to get a piece of it.
One of those teams was Columbia. The other was Dartmouth, after they picked up wins on week 10.
And the interesting
Because of
thing
that
is
win, that meant it was a three-way tie.
we're looking ahead a little bit, but in the Harvard-Yale contest over the years, home field means nothing. It's interesting how it's just been kind of split down the middle.
Goodwin threads the needle and finds a man inside the 10. Lions are not done. It's hauled in by the senior tight end, Matt Galladari.
And what a great throw. He is able to feather it over the second level in front of the third level. We've seen some really good throws by 15, Chase Goodwin, and this is certainly one of them. First of all, he's got time. Again, when he has time, he just gets it over the outstretched arms of the mid-layer defender, drops it into the arms of his receiver. Just a great throw by Chase Goodwin. Let's go back to what we said before. When we said coming into this game, we were pretty sure that Columbia was not going to quit in this game. And they clearly have not. You mentioned they outscored Harvard 6-3 in the second half.
That's Amari Owens, who's down with the injury. He is starting at left tackle because their usual starter at left tackle, Ryan Carr, was injured against Penn. So Owens,
good to see them getting out. But we talked about this at the beginning. I mean, Columbia has been a mash unit during the course of this season with so many injuries.
I thought the Columbia sideline was a little more excited than normal. Our research department says that's Galladari's first career reception.
Good
So
for him.
that's why.
Good for him. You know, and you get to do it on national television at a time when Columbia is looking good in this game.
Senior from Princeton, New Jersey, getting the catch. Setting things up for Columbia. First down and goal from the 6. Goodwin throws out of the back of the end zone, incomplete. Now will get us to the 2-minute timeout. Comes with 1:58 to go in the fourth quarter. Lions still fighting, but Harvard's going to go to 8-0. Next on SportsCenter, Christina and Phil have you covered. EJ will preview the college football weekend. Big showdown. A couple of blue bloods on Tobacco Road. It's Kansas and UNC in men's college hoop. And the Rockets and Spurs in a Lone Star showdown. That's coming up when we are done. Not done yet, though. That's what Columbia says. 1:58 to go. Second down and goal for the Lions. Goodwin deflected. Broken up by Owen Johnson. Third and goal coming up.
You got a lot of receivers in the same area there. What happens when you have so many is you got other guys drifting into the passing lanes. They had 4 receivers within about 10 yards of each other. See right, you've got that middle linebacker defender. He starts to drift to the right, seeing what's coming on, and he gets, again, you can see 1, 2, 3, 4 receivers there, and they've got 5 defenders.
Goodwin throws a touchdown. They went after DJ Thomas with Henderson out of the game. Titus Evans has his second touchdown, and once again, Columbia will go for 2.
Take a look, Evans, one-on-one press coverage. A little hand fighting out there. I think the officials probably saw both of them. Nobody really got an advantage, although you could raise a question. But just great focus by Titus Evans.
Two-point conversion is successful. Guess who? Titus Evans. That makes it 31-14 with 1:49 to go.
Pretty much the Titus Evans show tonight for that offense for Columbia.
Kieran Core gave Harvard a 31-0 lead with 6:07 to go in the third quarter. That's the last Harvard has scored. And now Columbia down 31-14.
Here's what you have to love about John Poppy. Did you see him getting in the face of Evans and just, I mean, jubilant? You wouldn't know that he's down 31-14, but he's picking up the vibes for this team, getting them to produce in this second half, using this second half to create a little momentum for the last couple of games of the season. But when you see a guy celebrating with this team like that, we've said this before, he's a guy you'd like to play for.
And frankly, momentum for next season. Some of the things that are happening today is the groundwork for turning the page and getting off to a good start next year. Onside kick, Shirley coming here for Columbia. It's got to go to 10. Bartram was there to cover it up right at the 50-yard line.
Ty Bartram, their All-American safety captain, doing a little bit of everything for this Harvard team. Not just past season, but this season also. Talk about having a guy you want to have on your team. That's 21. Didn't look like it went the 10 yards, but it doesn't make a difference because the Harvard team grabbed it.
You know, Bartram just trying to, ooh, that was a pretty good job too, because he was leaning right and that angle showed you he was forced to reach back to his left, but the senior captain has it, and Harvard has it first down at the 50. Torres at quarterback, Bascon with the run. Just one timeout remaining for Columbia. Don't think they'll take it here. They'll just let the clock run out.
And we've seen Bascon for a lot of carries over the last couple of years. I don't think I've ever remember seeing him go down on the first hit.
No.
He just generates that power. He runs low. You hear people talk about running behind your pads. He's doing that. He just constantly generates that power.
16 carries, 83 yards, and a couple of touchdowns for Xavier Bascon. Harvard's going to run as much of the play clock as possible. 2 snaps to go, and Harvard will be 8-0 for the third straight season. Oh, correction, third straight 8-win season. They are going to be 8-0. And most importantly, 5-0, Jack, in the Ivy League. Andy Ulrich's team step closer. And as we mentioned, they could clinch at least a share of the title if tomorrow Brown beats Yale and Cornell beats Penn. And Cornell is one of the hottest teams in the Ivy League. They've been playing really
Three
well.
in a row. They have really they've gotten on fire. And the interesting thing is, and it's the Ivy League, as good as they've been, and that 5-0 standing, they have a hard road these next 2 games. And you can see all sorts of scenarios playing out.
Bascon, and that will put it away. Final play of the game, and fittingly, solid run for Exavea Bascon. Clock is stopped to move the chains. And a player is down for Harvard. This is the last thing you want to see. With the game just about over, it's an offensive lineman who's being tended to. I believe it's Spencer Doan, the left tackle.
Spencer Doan, he's one of the forces on that offensive line. The coach told us, even though he's just a junior, I believe, he's a guy that the NFL has been looking at also.
Doan being helped off by a couple of his fellow offensive linemen, right tackle Derek Osmond and the center Aiden Killstrom. So Harvard will host Penn on Saturday. Take a look at how Doan.
You could see him right there in the center and getting rolled up on by the Columbia player, being driven to the ground by the Harvard offensive lineman. Hopefully he's going to be okay.
Harvard, Penn, then Yale. Columbia will host Brown next Saturday, and then the finale will be in Ithaca at Cornell. That's the end of the ball game. No touchdowns in the second half for Andy Orrick's team, but they built a 28-0 lead at halftime, and they have another win. 8-0 overall, 5-0 in the Ivy League. The Crimson win again. For Jack Ford and our entire crew, I'm Eric Freed. Thank you for being with us in New York City tonight. It's a win for Harvard, and it's on the Sports Center.